Welcome to Airchecks. Radioactive is a radio comedy program, broadcast on BBC Radio 4 during the 1980s. The series grew out of a 1979 Edinburgh Festival Fringe show presented by the Oxford Review and starred Angus Deaton, Geoffrey Perkins, Michael Fenton Stevens, Helen Atkinson Wood and Philip Pope. The first episode was broadcast in 1980, and it ran for 7 series. The show is based on a fictional radio station, described as Britain's first national local radio station, and the programs that it might transmit. Initially, the radio station concept was used simply as a loose framing device for otherwise unlinked sketches and songs, but as the show developed, the episodes became more thematically focused, each one lampooning a different broadcasting genre and sometimes even a specific program such as Down Your Way, parodied as Round Your Parts, In at the Deep End, Out of Your Depth, Ultra Quiz, Gigantoquiz, The Radio Program, The Radio Program, and Crime Watch, Stop That Crime UK. Here is the Radioactive Season 1, Episode 2 entitled, Bedrock, the Early Morning Breakfast Show with Mike Flex.
Your Majesty, thank you very much for talking to us, and good luck with the record. And now on Radioactive, we welcome Radio 4 listeners who join us for Bedrock, the Early Morning Breakfast Show with Mike Flex.
And a great good morning. Hi, Mike Flex here. Look after yourselves and thanks for the money. My name is Mike Flex.
Mike Flex, Mike Flex.
Yep, Mike Flex. And by one of those happy coincidences, this is the Mike Flex Show. And thank you for all those of you who wrote in for the Find a New Name for Mike Flex competition. We still haven't picked the winner, but thank you to Joy for suggesting Old Dustbin Head. We'll have a brand new competition later on when we'll be inviting you to find a name for the microphone. So, plenty of fun there, I would think. Well, you're listening to
Radioactive,
Britain's first national local radio station, broadcasting to you on the same wavelength as all the local taxis. But right now, here's Mandy with news of her show that you can hear later on today. Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Mike.
What have you got on for us today?
Oh, just the usual pair of jeans.
Terrific, yeah.
Well, no, but seriously, Mike, I'm doing the Golden Oldies show where I'll be playing all the hits from just 1 year. And tonight I'll be playing all the hits from 1873. So, there's a must for all you Cliff Richard fans.
Okay, bye, Mandy. And now it's Film Review.
Hello. This week I went along to see the latest cinema television spin-off, Blue Peter the Motion Picture. It was crass, boring, banal, but even so I didn't like it. More to my taste is the new Buster Keaton season opening this week at the Trendy Arts Film Centre in London. Among the films to be shown is the truly classic The Stuntman. Who can forget this truly unforgettable scene? Remember that? Gripping stuff. In stark contrast, of course, to the poignant and moving deathbed scene at the end of the film. Brilliant. Well, next week sees the opening of the new Peckinpah, the latest Coppola, and Brando's directorial debut. But I'll be turning my attention to Naked Virgins in Copenhagen. So while I'm away, Mike Flex will be sitting in.
Radioactive.
Okay, nice to see you up. And last night I went to see the very moving new film, in fact, The First Teardrop of Spring, and I must admit I cried. I couldn't afford an ice cream. Okay, yeah. Actually, I couldn't afford to go to the cinema as my wife has just left me. Come back, Helen. Okay, time for a request, and it comes from Mrs. Johnson in Kettering, and she wants to hear Old Mouthful of Gravel, Kenny Rogers.
There are times when a boy becomes a man, and things you couldn't tell him, you suddenly can. When Billy grew up, I thought it was the time that I called him and laid things on the line. And I said, said, Billy, you're almost turned 16. And I thought I ought to tell you about your mama and me. I have to let you know we married 13 years ago. That means technically speaking, you're a bastard. You're a bastard. You're a bastard. But you're still my son. You're a bastard. You're a bastard. But what's done is done. Billy, he's a big boy. He stood by my side. And as he spoke to me, there was a tear in his eye. And there was two of them. He said, Dad, what'd you tell me? Comes as no surprise. Ma told me all about you before she died. She said you promised you'd always be true. Never cheat on a blind girl, that's what you never do. But you slept with her mother, her sister and her brother. She said you were a bastard. You're a bastard. You're a bastard. And you did my mama wrong, which is worse. You're a bastard, you're a bastard. And I replied, but you were a bastard first. Altogether. He's a bastard, he's a bastard. I'm a bastard. He's a selfish dog. That's me. He's a bastard. And you know, that bastard was right. And you know, that bastard was right.
And we're just coming up to news time now, and we've just heard that the Governor-General of Australia has resigned. And for more details about that, our man in Sydney is on the line, Roger Jones. Hello, Roger. Hello, Roger.
Hi.
Roger, what are the reactions of the Australians to the Governor-General's resignation?
What time is it?
Hello, Roger. I was wondering about the reactions to the Governor-General's resignation.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Has there been much surprise?
Surprise, bloody 5 o'clock in the morning.
What about the Prime Minister?
What about him?
Do you expect him to be surprised?
I should say so, bloody 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, get back to sleep, you silly cow. It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Roger?
5 o'clock in the morning? What does he want?
I don't know, it's about the Prime Minister.
Roger, perhaps you could bring us back
Shut
here.
up. Look, you stay out of this.
Well, we'll be keeping you right up to date on that story just as soon as we can buy a newspaper. But right now it's time for our resident medium, Miranda, with today's stars.
Taurus, if you are a Trappist monk, today will be quiet. Cancer, Leos will be particularly receptive to you today. Seek them out wherever you can. Leos, Cancerians are a bad sign today. If one approaches you, hit them where they are most sensitive. Scorpio, pay special attention to your diet. In particular, avoid glass, rat poison, and anything bigger than yourself. Aquarius, you will travel unexpectedly after a gas explosion in your kitchen.
Get sunshine and beaches and foreign diseases. We call them holiday spots. Holiday spots.
holiday abroad this year?
Call in at Perkins Travel and let me and my second wife, Jill, show you some of the exciting cities you can travel to.
Yes. And all at roughly half the cost of any other travel agent.
Here are some of the exotic places you can visit. Reykjavik, home of the igloo and cultural centre of Antarctica. Plenty of fresh air and open space, and within easy walking distance of Canada. Or perhaps you prefer something a little further south.
Lovely Warsaw, known throughout the world as the capital of Poland and home of many Polish people. With sunshine throughout almost the whole of the last week in July, a must for anyone with an interest in vodka or light industry.
So book now with Perkins Travel Agency.
And a quick bit of traffic news. There will be no tubes running today between Mayfair and Dulwich, as there are no stations in either of these places.
Tickets, please. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir, thank you. Excuse me, sir, when did you buy this ticket?
This morning, obviously.
Well, that's impossible, I think, sir, because the date says the 7th.
Yes, well?
It's 23rd today, sir.
Really?
Did you buy this ticket today?
Well, yes, I did. When did you think I bought it? D-Day?
OK, well, it's got a serial number on it. I'll just ring up Caterham and check if there's been something faulty with their dating machine, OK?
Well, actually, I didn't buy it myself. Obviously. I mean, my father bought it for me and gave it to me as I was getting on the train.
I see.
Now, if that really does say the 7th, then he must have bought the ticket on the 7th and not used it, and given it to me instead of the new one.
In which case, your father will have today's ticket.
Yes. Yes, he probably knows. He's probably lost it. probably emptied out his pockets and lost the shit. Oh, I could kill him.
Well, we'd better take down his name and address then, sir.
Who's this?
Your father.
My father? He's dead. You better have mine instead.
Sir, look, let's be honest. You tried to use an old ticket to get through today, isn't that the truth?
How dare you accuse me of... Yes, that is true. How dare you? I pay taxes to keep your sort of person alive, you know?
Your name, sir?
Oh, very well. My name is Gordon. Kenneth.
Which is it to be, sir?
Kenneth? Do you know my Christian name? Kenneth?
As in Kendall?
Yes, that's right. Come on.
And your second name, sir?
Kendall.
Your name is Kenneth Kendall?
Yes. Come on, hurry up. Some of us got jobs to do, you know.
Your address then, sir?
10 Downing Street. Caterham.
Thank you, sir. Right, very well. You'll be hearing from us.
Look, you couldn't just hold this £5 note for a moment, could you?
Are you trying to bribe me, sir?
No. Yes, why not?
Right, well, I'm afraid we'll have to take that as well.
Oh, well, thanks for holding it for me. Could I just have it back? Thanks very much. Very decent of you.
Oh, you'll be hearing from us, sir. How careless. The price of one ticket and a fine anywhere up to £200.
Was it really worth it? Next time it could be you.
That was a public service broadcast. And news of a couple of events going on today that you might be interested in. There's a meeting of the Salvation Army in Hyde Park, and they'll be going on from there to beat up some midgets in Chelsea. That's 3 o'clock if you want to come along. But right now, Helen, I love you, please come back. Right now, it's time for another in our series of personal reminiscences of famous celebrities' lives, which we have decided to call Personal Reminiscences of Famous Celebrities' Lives.
It is a fact that someone you took when you were young to be the most objectionable, stubborn, insincere, pompous, and unnecessarily toffee-nosed person you ever had the misfortune of sharing a bath night with can turn out in later life to be perfectly pleasant. Thus, I feel somewhat guilty about revealing my childhood memories of Margaret Thatcher. I first met Maggie, or Margaret, as she was then known, in 1937 and bade her farewell, or more good riddance, in 1942. Although she was the youngest girl in the dormitory, within 3 weeks, Margaret, or Sir, as she insisted on being called, was dormitory captain. She ruled the dormitory with a rod of iron, which she had prized out from the bedstead. Thinking back, it occurs to me that there were enormous parallels between her opinions even then and the ones she now holds. Now she believes wholeheartedly in the freedom of the individual, and this was also the case at school, where she was, of course, the individual in question. And then her stand on capital punishment has never altered. Poor Joanna. But you know, as much as you may have noticed, little snatches of hostility do slip in there, where I'm talking about Margaret, or Boadicea, as she was, as she was known by the end of our school days, one couldn't help but admire her persistence. All in all, Margaret Thatcher has made an indelible mark upon those who have crossed her path in life. My particular mark is just here on the outside of my leg, where she stabbed me with a fountain pen.
Broadcasting to you locally, nationwide. Well, time now, on a lighter note, for Radioactive's Quiz of the Air. Last week we had a special competition for all you men entitled Who is the Perfect Lover? And a staggering 80% thought it was Judy Huxtable of Cheshire. So that's the correct answer. For those of you who didn't get it, her address is 14 Priory Terrace. But this week, something for the ladies. We give you the chance to find out, would I make a good queen? So, pencils ready and write down the answers that apply to you. I like to wear...
A. Hats.
B. Headscarves.
C. Crowns.
When I meet a man for the first time, I usually say...
A. Hello.
B. Hello, handsome.
C. Arise, sir.
At Christmas, I like to...
A. Put my feet up.
B. Carve the turkey.
C. Address the nation.
I like opening...
A. Presents.
B. Chocolates.
C. Parliament.
I am used to treading on...
A. Floorboards.
B. Lino.
C. Corgis.
And finally, I would like my son to be...
A. An accountant.
B. A BBC producer.
C. King.
So there's the quiz. If you want to enter, get in touch with us before last Friday and we will send you a self-addressed envelope. A few months ago, the government published a pamphlet, Protect and Survive, a publication designed to advise the British people what we should do in the event of a nuclear attack. Well, I have with me in the studio Mr. Gareth Gutteridge, a member of the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. Mr. Gutteridge, welcome.
Yes.
How thorough is this publication, Mr. Gutteridge?
Yes.
I do feel that throughout the book, one category of person has been totally ignored.
And who is this?
Well, and this is the unfortunate fella who finds that the nuclear bomb is about to fall directly on his head.
Yes, so what do you in the CND suggest for this person?
Well, the secret will be to have on your person some kind of protective headgear.
I see, and what would you recommend?
Well, there's a lamentable lack of headdresses in the shop, designed specifically to withstand the full impact of a nuclear warhead. But we recommend the ancient Chinese cooking instrument, the wok.
Yeah.
or a copy of Bertrand Russell's History of Western Philosophy.
And you should hold these above your head at the moment of impact.
Well, preferably you should find some way of attaching them by means of glue or string, as holding on the headgear will probably mean that your hands come out the worse for wear in the case of a direct hit.
Any final words of encouragement to someone who finds themselves in such a situation?
Well, once the headgear is on, just stand and wait, and hope the bomb isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Thanks very much. This is Radioactive, broadcasting on 400 metres long wave, 200 metres medium wave, and 100 metres hurdles VHF. And now, we have the results here of an exclusive radioactive survey which proves that the death rate is remaining steady at 1 per person. Right now, it's time for our short story read today by Roger Daly, and he's going to be having a look at an extract from Samantha's Passage, the new novel by Suzanne Jacks.
The raging sun beat down on the scorched white sand, and languid palm trees rustled gently in the wind. Samantha noticed how there was something different about Brixton these days. Was it the changing climate, or perhaps the sudden swell of tourists? Or was it the 600-yard Riviera beach built along the South Circular by the local council? She couldn't tell. She watched the children as they ran to the edge of the beach, buckets and spades in their hands, being narrowly missed by number 19 buses. How careless of them, she thought, that they should always miss. Looking round her, she saw a young man. She asked him to stop looking round her, and he smiled enigmatically and walked away. Immediately, without hesitation, she reached for her dictionary and looked up enigmatic. She wondered if she had perhaps frightened him away by appearing too demure or disconsolate, but then realized she didn't know what either of those words meant either. She watched him disappear and decided to stretch her legs. Perhaps added height would attract him. Then suddenly, before she could do anything about it, the narrative stopped.
Thank you, Roger. Well, Roger has in fact had an unfortunate accident with his own library recently. It burnt down. Both books were destroyed, and one of them wasn't even coloured in. Please come back, Helen, and bring Jonathan with you if you must. But right now, it's my very great pleasure to be joined in the studio here by the very beautiful Kate Bosch. Kate, good to see you.
Yeah, it must be amazing.
You're looking very amazing today. Okay.
Amazing.
Wearing that marvellously delicate dress.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually. It's crimpline.
Is it homemade?
No, it's Marks and Sparks.
Amazing. Kate, I must ask you, do you wear anything underneath?
Amazing. Sorry?
Sorry. What are your future plans?
Well, I'm touring at the end of the year, and then I'm doing another album.
Yeah. Are you doing anything this evening?
Sorry?
Kate, would you like to give us a brief sample of one of your new songs?
Well, I think that would be, amazing, Mike.
Amazing. Okay. So here on Radioactive for the first time is the beautiful Kate Bosch with one of her new beautifully delicate songs. Well, that's about it from the Mike Flex Show today. It's goodbye from me, Mike Flex, and from my producer, who produces the Mike Flex Show. And we'll leave you tonight with our record of the week. It's our #1 and moving higher all the time. So here are Status Queen.
Sing the same
Radioactive was performed by Helen Atkinson Wood, Angus Deaton, Geoffrey Perkins, Philip Pope and Michael Stevens. Music was by Philip Pope and the programme was written by Angus Deaton and Geoffrey Perkins with additional material from David Jackson Young and Michael Stevens. The producer was Jimmy Mulville.
That was Radioactive Season 1, Episode 2 entitled, Bedrock, the Early Morning Breakfast Show with Mike Flex. Here is more Radioactive Season 1, Episode 3, entitled, The Midday Show with Anna Daptor right here on Airchecks.
Russian troops have invaded Scotland. Full stories in half an hour. But now on Radioactive, it's time to welcome Radio 4 listeners who join us, as usual at this time of the day, for the Midday Show with Anna Daptor. It's 14 minutes past 2.
Good afternoon to all you women folk of Britain. I'm Anna Daptor. And I'll be keeping you company whatever you're doing this afternoon. Whether you're in the office, in your car, still at home, or just sleeping around with some of your husband's golfing friends. And speaking of royalty, my very special guests later on in the show will be Prince Charles and Lady Diana. They'll be dropping in to have a quick midday show chat with yours truly, Anna Daptor. But first off this afternoon, here's an urgent piece of traffic news from our traffic department and Mike Cable. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Anna.
How's Trix?
Oh, she's fine.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much, Mike.
Bye, Anna.
Bye, Mike. And more traffic news later. That was Radioactive's thought for the day. And right now on Radioactive, here's a little music to start the show. And this one goes out to little Johnny Jim Jams Jarvis of Harrow Public School, where he's been headmaster for the past 10 years. So, here you are, Jim Jams. It's the year's first Christmas release, and we're playing it here on Radioactive to mark the fact that Christmas Day is just 3 months away.
You stink, you stink.
Welcome back. And on the subject of celebrations and festivities, a reminder that next Tuesday, Radioactive will be 6 years old.
Happy, happy, happy birthday, happy, happy, happy birthday, happy, happy, happy birthday to us.
And to celebrate that fact, throughout the day on Tuesday, each and every one of the Radioactive disc jockeys will be out and about getting very pissed. So, there'll be no programmes broadcast until Wednesday morning. OK.
And now, Radioactive presents...
Commercial time.
It's been a hard ticket to ride, 8 days a week.
Do you dig the Beatles? How would you like to own a record with every song they ever recorded? Or perhaps you prefer the Stones?
Little red rooster.
The same great LP contains all their hits too. And on the other side, there's every other record ever produced in the world. Cartel Records presents The History of Pop. 4,000 great hits on each side, featuring every pop song ever recorded. Swoon to the Beach Boys. Reminisce to the great Buddy Holly. Rock to the mighty Led Zeppelin. Dance the night away with ABBA. And wonder at the brotherhood of man. Yes, they're all there on Cortel's History of Pop, the first 112-inch record ever released. Playable on Cortel's new belt-driven 10-foot diameter turntables. Available from your local record stores now.
A reminder that a little later on, Prince Charles and Lady Diana will be popping in for a brief tete-a-tete. But time now for a special treat for all you ladies as we join roving reporter Nigel Pry at the World Snooker Final.
And you join us just as Alex Higgins takes what will surely be the last shot of the match. An easy pot of the black that will give him the championship and the £10,000 first prize.
Oh, and he's missed the black. He's spotted the white and ripped the cloth. It's all over. And if I can just push my way through... Alex, well, what a disaster, eh, Alex? Dear, oh dear. You missed the ball, you lost £10,000, and to cap it all, you probably have to pay for the new cloth as well. Well, Alex, how do you feel?
You're listening to...
Radioactive.
Right now, it's time for our holiday spot.
Get sunshine and beaches and foreign diseases. We call them holiday spots. Holiday spots.
And for this week's holiday spot, we talk to Radioactive's very own Mike Channel, just returned from 2 weeks in Rome. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Anna. Good to see you again.
So, how was the holiday?
Oh, lovely. Another great success.
Yeah?
Yeah, saw so much, all the sights, and all because of the courier. And that's what I'm here to tell you, listeners, how essential it is to get yourself a good courier. I mean, if you get a good courier, you're made.
And you had?
Oh, wonderful courier. Yep, Luigi. Lovely man. Personal attention all down the line. Shared a room with the wife towards the end. No attention spared.
He shared a room with your wife?
Oh, yes. You see, any questions that occur to her during the night, he'd be there to answer them. Real service.
Goodness me, I don't really think I'd trust an Italian.
Oh, yes, I trust that man. I trust him with my wife. Well, I did. I remember once he said to me, Dick. He used to call me Dick, and we'd all laugh. He said, Dick. Yes, Luigi, I said. Push off out of it, Shorty. He said, I want to be with your wife. He was a real joker.
And what happened?
Well, nothing. Got back, and they were chatting on the bed.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Nice.
Lovely weather. They were both naked, windows open. You see, everything to make sure we were comfortable.
Naked?
Oh, yes, no attention spared. I remember another occasion I got back to my room, mid-afternoon. Luigi was lying there on the bed, always at hand, you see, Starkers with my son, Gerald. Hello, I said, what's going on here? I've just slept with your son, he said. We had a good laugh about that. Then in comes my daughter, Elise, stark naked too. Hello, Dad, she says, what's the Vatican like? Very interesting, I said, very interesting. Well, says Luigi, why not get lost and go see the Colosseum as well?
So, you're going back again there next year?
No need, he's come over with us, he lives with us now. See, just in case there are any questions we need to ask him throughout the year.
Well, nice to see you again, Mike.
Yeah.
Have a great show tonight.
Bye, Anna.
Bye, Mike. And remember that Mike will have the radioactive doctor with him tonight, and we'll be looking at some of your personal and marital problems. But now here's Mike with news of a radioactive job finder.
Yes, Anna, and an excellent job here if you'd like to work locally. It's working as an assistant in a nearby sewage works, checking the sewage flow. You need to have a strong stomach, very good eyesight, a dull sense of smell, sure footing, and extremely good balance. Overalls and gloves are provided, as is lunch on the job. You'll be working from 6 in the morning until 10 at night, and the pay is £35 per week. Going up to £40 within the first 15 years, by the way. And no previous experience needed. So anyone with a keen interest in sewage, why not give us a call on the job finder line, okay?
And now, Radioactive presents...
Commercial time.
Why do people advertise The Guardian?
It's good publicity.
I like the checks they send you for doing it.
What I really like about it is being seen regularly on television.
It makes you quite popular with trendy people, and not just in London.
Keeps your face on the screen.
Read The Guardian. Half a dozen out-of-work actors can't be wrong.
I've been just handed a quick piece of sports news here. Brighton Police tell us that because of the match tonight, there'll be no public transport within 12 miles of the city centre. And they advise people to avoid the area as they expect violence from marauding fans. But if you do have tickets for the game, Bully Off is at 7 o'clock and Rodine will be playing in the white shirts. Well, in anticipation on the arrival of the royal couple, we understand that they should be reaching Radioactive any moment for their mid-afternoon soiree with me. I have with me an expert on the British monarchy, and he's going to be talking about some of the events that led up to the engagement of Prince Charles to his bride, Lady Diana Spencer.
Sorry, no, my name's Charles Swift.
Yes, because I know that you're going to be talking about her.
Who?
Lady Diana Spencer.
Oh, her, yes, a lovely lady.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, I gather that Prince Charles had some difficulty in selecting his bride.
Well, yes, indeed. Well, a man in Prince Charles's position has to be very careful. I mean, he can't just walk round Soho and pick up anyone, can he? No.
Because obviously he needs someone who can, in a very warm and meaningful way, share his personal life.
Yes, yes.
And also someone who can cope with the responsibilities of being queen.
Yes.
What do you think was the most important thing that Prince Charles was in fact looking for?
Yes. Beg your pardon?
What was the most important thing that Prince Charles was looking for?
Somebody who would look right.
Look right?
Yes, somebody who would look right sitting up there on the throne.
I see.
Somebody who could sit there without sliding off onto the floor or toppling backwards off the throne waving her legs in the air. Somebody like that.
So, what do you think is the most important thing that Lady Diana has got to learn?
Well, she's going to have to learn how to wave.
To wave?
Yes, that's what she'll be doing most of in her job as Queen, yes. Now, the Queen, she's done a lot of marvellous waving herself in her time, but she's getting a little bit past it now, and for most state occasions, she now has a plastic hand, which she operates by means of a piece of string attached to her feet. When Lady Diana went to the palace, the first thing the Queen wanted to do was to take a look at Lady Diana's waving hand. So she took her into an anteroom, looked at the hand, shook her warmly by it and said, "Put it there, sunshine."
Put it there, sunshine?
Or royal words to that effect, yes, yeah.
I see. Well, do you have any words of advice for them?
Oh, yes, indeed, I do, yes. Keep smiling. Don't let being king and queen affect your private life. And keep away from the Crown and Anchor in Brixton on a Saturday night. Thank you.
And look ahead to a programme later on tonight on Radioactive with a look at breastfeeding and the menopause. There'll be hints on flower arranging and crochet work and advice on prenatal and postnatal problems. That's all on It's a Man's World with David Hughes at 8 o'clock tonight. But now it's time for... Badger Watch. And in case you missed it last night, here's a second chance to hear Badger Watch with Melvin Johnson.
Well, here we are in the very heart of the Hertfordshire countryside, keeping as quiet as possible so as not to disturb the badgers, which Jack here has been watching over the past few days. Jack, perhaps you could tell us what has happened so far tonight.
Well, nothing as yet.
Any movement?
No, not as such.
Oh, I believe one of them stood up, is that right?
That was yesterday.
Perhaps you could tell us about that then.
Well, he stood up.
On all four legs?
On all four legs, yeah.
I see.
And then very suddenly...
Yeah?
Sat down again.
I see. Is that common in badgers of this age?
It is quite common in badgers of this age, yes. Well,
Badgers of any age, in fact.
Yes, yes.
Well, animals of any age, really. In fact, standing up and sitting down is a pretty bloody normal thing for anyone.
Yes, quite. So what can we expect to see tonight? What do you think?
Not over much, I should say.
Not over much?
Well, sweet F.A., to put it frankly.
I see, but will they not start searching for food soon?
Might do.
You seem a little sceptical.
Well, I fired 3 shots at them this afternoon, they didn't budge.
Is that not rather dangerous?
Well, sometimes your finger does get jammed in the trigger.
No. Isn't it harmful for the badger?
Oh, well, it doesn't do them a lot of good, put it that way.
So, you have shot these animals, have you? Which would in some measure explain why they're not moving.
Yep.
Well, perhaps we'd better just go back to the studios now. You're due to join us again in an hour's time, of course, so when you do, we'll be looking at the art of cooking game, and in particular, how to make badger pie. But until then, it's back to the studio.
Thanks, Melvin. Badger. Sounds delicious.
And now, Radioactive presents...
Commercial time.
Do you suffer from the oldest social problem in the world? Then you'll know what it's like to have bad breath. But now your problem days are over with new Quilly's lozenges. Teenager Judy Stench tells how they changed her life.
Well, I never used to have much of a social life. All the boys would ignore me. And at parties, sometimes I'd just feel unwanted.
What a marvellous evening. I could stay here all night. Absolutely delightful.
Hello, everyone.
God, is that the time?
What, 7 o'clock, nearly bedtime.
Must be going.
Yeah.
Then one day a close friend told me what the problem was.
You've got bad breath, love. No, don't turn round. No,
Well, eventually, in desperation, I went to the chemist to ask his advice. Morning, Mr. Turner.
Oh, Judy, nice to see you. Hang on a minute. Yes. Now, what can I do for you?
I told him what the problem was, and he suggested I try new Quillies immediately.
I suggest you try new Quillies immediately. Here, have a free packet or 2, or half a dozen, maybe. In fact, have the whole bloody lot.
Well, needless to say, Quillies changed everything. Now I have a different date. Every night.
Yes, why don't you take Judy's advice? If you feel down in the mouth...
Suck Quillies, they make your mouth feel great.
Before you go out in the morning, stick Quillies in your pocket.
Great.
As you may know, my guests this afternoon are going to be Prince Charles and Lady Diana. But we understand they've had a flat tire. They drove over a champagne bottle in the drive, so they may be a little delayed. But now it's time for our behind closed door spot.
Nigel Pry here again, and today I've got behind the closed doors of the extremely exclusive new disco, Snoots. As you probably know, only the most bizarre-looking people are allowed in, and I'm going to meet a few of them now, if I can. Excuse me, sir?
Yes?
You're dressed rather impressively, all in white.
Yes, that's right. White shoes, white jacket, white trousers, and a white hat.
Well, what brings you here? Is it the music, the people?
No, the toilets.
The toilets?
Yeah, I've come to paint the toilets.
I see. Well, thank you. Excuse me?
Yes, love, what can I do for you?
Well, I'm interviewing some of the bizarre-looking people in Snoots.
Oh, that's nice for you, Chuck.
If I may say so, I'm rather surprised to see you in here.
Why's that, love?
Well, with your grey pleated skirt, your sensible grey stockings, and your headscarf, you look like a very ordinary woman.
I'm a man.
I see. Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
You look like a leader of fashion.
I'm not just a leader of fashion, I am fashion. I've transformed fashion into art. I'm not just a fashionable person, I'm an art object.
An art object?
Yes, I'm an art object in myself.
And what are you today?
Bowl of fruit.
Thank you. Sir?
Yes?
Do you have any difficulty getting in here?
I used to have. I used to come here every day in all manner of bizarre outfits, but they never let me in.
What sort of outfits?
Well, one day I came along in a brown jacket and blue trousers, and one day I wore a pair of jeans, and one day I even turned up without a tie.
Really? And they never let you in?
Not until today.
And what did you do today?
I sawed both my legs off. They let me have a murmur.
And was it worth it?
Oh, yeah, it's a bit of a drag on the dance floor, but it's definitely worth it.
Well, that's it from Snoots, and this is Nigel Pry returning you to the studio.
And a quick piece of news from our traffic department now. It says, buses on the following routes. That's the 236, the 197, the 147, the 139, the 108, the 96, the 94, the 88, the 87, the 78, the 56, the 43, the 39, the 26, the 21, the 19, the 16, and the 13 will all be running as normal, as will all other bus routes. The time is fair whizzing by here on Radioactive. So without further ado, let's welcome our two contestants for this week's Master Quiz. And they are Dr. John Milestone, a lecturer in Hegelian philosophy at Glasgow Polytechnic, and Mr. Douglas Thanet, headmaster of Marlborough Public School and expert ornithologist. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And the first question goes to you, Doctor, and your choice of categories are history or modern music.
History, please.
Wise choice, I think. In what year did Kate Bush release her first single?
Who?
Kate Bush. Her first single. I'll have to hurry you.
No idea.
No, 1978 was the answer. Surprised you didn't get that one. Very big hit for her. Mr. Thanet, your categories are geography or modern music.
Geography.
Very well. What famous European city, well known for its manufacture and export of jute and chemical fertilizer, occurs in the title of an early Beatles album? Early Beatles album? European city?
Paris?
No, very close. It was, in fact, Hamburg. Live at Hamburg. You were doubtless confusing it with Supertramp Live in Paris. Doctor, back to you. Astrophysics or modern music?
Astrophysics?
The new Soviet DN-51 fighter aircraft is able to fly at over 1,800 miles per hour due to a new form of propulsion.
Yes.
Who was the last British pop singer to tour Russia? What? The last British singer to tour the Soviet Union? No. Well, it was, of course, Elton John.
Who? Never heard of it.
Never mind. No points to you. Well, the score is currently level, so it's neck and neck, still anyone's game. And, of course, time for the tiebreaker question. First one to answer correctly gets it, and the category chosen randomly by our computer is modern music. Which celebrated British pop group did the late Keith Moon play for?
Who?
Is the right answer. So, Doctor, you're this week's winner, and you'll receive a Radioactive T-shirt and a copy of Radioactive's Album of the Week, Led Zeppelin, Live at the Rainbow. Many thanks to you both. We are indeed privileged on Radioactive to be the hosts of Prince Charles and Lady Diana this afternoon. They have literally just arrived, and so while they're spending a penny, here's some music from one of the top British groups around, Phil McHeartthrob and Wangs, with a song he recorded in his own farmyard studio. And just listen to the haunting lyrics on this song.
Once a fool sat on a hill to write a symphony, but ended up with a simple tune, as simple as A, B, C. Jack and Jill went up that hill. The hill was very green, carrying a bucket between them. Oh, sing a song, a simple song, a song that's clean and nice. Sing it once, then once again, and that means singing it twice. This song that's nice and nice. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Now we come to the second verse, in which I'm singing it now. I wonder what I should say in it. Oh well, it's over anyhow, and so instead I'll sing a song, a simple song, as simple as they come, taking care not to offend the record buying mums by avoiding words like bums. Oh, oh,
Radioactive was performed by Helen Atkinson Wood, Angus Deaton, Geoffrey Perkins, Philip Pope and Michael Stevens. Music was by Philip Pope, and the programme was written by Angus Deaton, Geoffrey Perkins and Richard Curtis, with additional material from David Jackson Young and Michael Stevens. The producer was Jimmy Mulville.
You're listening to
Radioactive.
And it's now my very great honour to say welcome to Prince Charles and Lady Diana. But before I do, it's time to say goodbye to Radio 4 listeners who leave us. Your Majesties, could I begin by asking...
That was Radioactive Season 1, Episode 3, entitled The Midday Show with Anna Daptor, right here on Airchecks. The Museum of Everything is a BBC Radio 4 comedy sketch show, written by and starring Marcus Brigstock, Danny Robbins, and Dan Tetzel. The program is based on the trio's earlier live sketch show of the same name, which was performed at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in 2002. The first series was broadcast in 2004, a second series in 2005 and a third series in 2006. It is set in an English provincial museum, the only museum where you can experience the history of everything. Lucy Montgomery also features. The program is produced by Alex Walsh-Taylor and the music is written by Dominic Haslam and Ben Walker. Here is Season 1, Episode 2 of the Museum of Everything, entitled, A Very Important Visitor, right here on Airchecks.
Welcome to the Museum of Everything. Please feel free to wander around our many galleries. Visitors are reminded that theft is only permitted by members of the curating staff.
The Museum of Everything.
Okay, cheers then, thanks then, cheers. Okay, that's cheers then, thanks then, cheers. Okay, welcome to the museum. We are your guides, and we hope you have an enjoyable and stimulating
visit here today. There is plenty to look at. For example, in today's Cooking for the Wealthy exhibit, we will be showing you how to poach a Fabergé egg.
There are also lots of interactive displays, all of which are clearly marked.
Displays that you can safely touch are marked with a
black and white striped sticker.
And ones that are hazardous and are strictly not for touching are marked with a
white and black striped sticker.
Our advice would be to give the History of Newcastle Football Club exhibit a very wide berth.
Now, we do have a special visitor to the museum today.
As you will see, a fair bit of the museum has been
cordoned off. This is not for the usual reasons of health and safety.
Or spite.
It is, in fact, to protect our special visitor. As you will be aware, a short length of red rope is often the last and best line of defence between a VIP and a terrorist or nutter.
You will find most of the usual attractions open as normal, including our gift shop.
We are sorry to say that within the gift shop,
some of the more dangerous items have been removed for security reasons, including pencil sharpeners, spud guns,
and some of the sharper fudge.
So if you'd like to open your bags now, we'll have a look to see if you're carrying anything dangerous.
Or embarrassing. And if you do happen to spot our VIP walking around today,
and you feel inclined to come up and start having a chat, remember,
we will take you down.
Cheers,
Cheers, Anne.
Everything I do it for you. Ha!
Right. I am the Sheriff of Nottingham. And welcome to my banqueting halls. King John has put me in charge while he's off fighting the Arabs. So silence, or I'll raise your taxes, burn your villages, and what is the point of this? Is anyone listening? This is well-researched historical detail, is this? Look, is anyone here for the authentic medieval recreation experience? Are there any stag doos in? Oh, I thought so. Right, settle down, lads, or I'll throw you in the dungeon. Any hen nights? All right, calm down, don't throw pants, it's too early for that. Now, come on, get off, OK. Now, let me run you through your medieval banquet menu. Course ye first, ye oldie minestrone soupy. Course ye second, chicken in ye baskets. With Norman fries. They're like French fries, but they're older. Nothing. Oh dear, never mind. So, tonight, Nancy, our head buxom serving wench, is retiring. She's not as buxom as she once was, but she has agreed to show us her black rat one more time. Won't you, Nancy?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, at the end of the night, love, at the end of the night, don't spoil the suspense. Oh, dear. 75 years old and still working, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the band. Has anyone seen Robin Hood? No! He's over there on bass.
This place is great, isn't it, Darren?
Yes. Very authentic.
Thanks for coming up for me stag do.
No problem.
Because I've known you since we was kids, like.
I know. I was there.
Shame no one else made it.
Yeah. Oh, look, the second course has arrived.
Oh, great. Ye oldie chicken in ye basket. Look, the basket's like a hat.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be Robin Hood's.
Yeah. Who is this Robin Hood fella, then?
Gary, how long have you lived in Nottingham?
All my life.
Well, he's the bloke on bass.
Oh. Got your hat, you bastard!
There you go.
Sorry, I asked for the vegetarian option.
Oh, you're all right, love. It's only chicken.
No, I don't eat chicken.
Why? Are you Jewish?
No, look, never mind. I won't have anything.
Well, you got to have it. It's all in price.
All right.
Do you want to see the black rat?
No, thanks.
Go on, have a look.
No, really.
Suit yourself. See you later, Gary.
Thanks, Mum.
Gary, this place is incredible.
Yeah.
Look at that hen party on table 4. They're in a terrible state. All drunk and red-faced and, well, they're really quite fat, aren't they?
Yeah, they look a right bunch of slags.
So, where's your fiancée,
Debbie?
Debbie, yes. Where's Debbie having her hen night?
Table 4, that's them there.
Oh, right. Which one's Debbie?
See that pretty blonde girl holding the head of the fat one being sick?
Oh.
That's the bridesmaid.
And Debbie?
She's being sick.
Oh, well, I can only see the back of her head.
Probably best. She's a pig, but, you know.
You love her?
No, I work with her dad. Have you got a girlfriend?
No, I'm not seeing anyone at the moment.
Are you a gay?
No.
It's just you moved to London, didn't you?
What does that mean?
Well, you know, London.
It's Northampton.
What?
I moved to Northampton.
Oh, Northampton.
What?
Nothing, no, you've done really well for yourself and pleased for you. Not like me.
Oh, come on, Gary. What you do is just as important as what I do. What is it you do again?
Meat packing.
Well, there you go. You pack meat.
I don't. You're the one who lives in Northampton.
No, Gary, you literally pack meat. And I muddle through in Northampton as a consultant paediatrician. It's yin and yang, ebb and flow.
Who are they? Friends from Northampton? Hey, you Darren, you think you're so much better than me, you big ponce. Thanks for coming down for my stag do, though. Do you want to go 2s up on Debs?
Yeah, all right.
We are pleased to announce that Dr. Robert Shewop, the man who put the bop in the bop shoo-wop doo-wop, is on the 4th floor, where you can shake him by the hand and thank him in person.
No, what have we got here? Sci-fi collectibles. Ah, no, these can be worth a great deal. So what are these? Star Wars? Star Trek?
A Dune.
Sorry?
A Dune, from the 1984 David Lynch classic, A Dune. Based on the Frank Herbert novels, The Dune Chronicles.
Sorry, June, as in Terry Ann's...
No. Dune, as in sand or buggy. No, I'd like to see Terry Scott taking on a sandworm while trying to mine spice in Arrakis.
Sorry, I haven't seen it.
I could lend you the Laserdisc.
I don't have a player.
Neither do I. They don't make them anymore. They call it progress.
Right, well, back to your collection. I can see they're all still in the original packaging.
Yes, I was a very unhappy child.
So how complete is the collection?
Utterly. I have everything.
Gosh, you have one of everything.
No, you're not listening. I have everything. Everything that was ever made in connection with Dune. Every action figure, every book, every poster, every swap card, every board game, every keyring, every Dune spice rack. I am the king of Dune.
Right.
Of course, that should really be the Duke of Dune, as played by Jürgen Prochnow in the David Lynch film Dune.
I wouldn't know.
So, how much is it worth?
Well, the value of a collection is really determined by how much someone is prepared to pay for it. So in this case, we would have to find someone who is interested, which could be difficult.
I don't want to sell it. I want to get it insured in case it's stolen so I can replace it.
But sorry, if you have all of the Dune merchandise in the world and it gets stolen, how are you going to replace it?
With bloody Star Wars like I should have done in the first place.
Now, I must say, I am rather interested in the box you've been keeping all the merchandise in. What can you tell me about that?
Oh, it's a Louis XIV cabinet inlaid with ebony and mother of pearl.
Oh, I say. Lovely.
Yes, I've scratched Dune on the front so I know what's in it.
Long Gallery, built in 1823 by the 9th Earl in order to house his extensive collection of wax fruits, something which we have tried to continue with this sculpture of Quentin Crisp. The 9th Earl was also a medical man, so on this wall you can see his stethoscope, the gallstones of Benjamin Disraeli, and the country's only surviving wooden speculum. Please don't touch that! It will splinter and you don't know where it's been. I do, Queen Victoria. She was not amused. Now...
Hello? Is that you, dear?
Please ignore that noise. It's just dry rot.
I'm in the cupboard.
Told you. Now, this umbrella stand, as you can see, is an elephant's leg that belonged to my grandfather. Now, elephant's leg, ironically enough, was also his nickname, Lucky Old Granny. As you will see from this rather unsettling portrait here, I'm afraid the eye has a nasty habit of following you around the room.
Hello? It's getting a bit airless in here.
Oh, Geoffrey, this constant attention-seeking has got to stop. I'm trying to tell these ghastly people all about grandfather's enormous... Don't touch that! I don't know what they do in Nanky Poo, but in this country it's no fingers on the woodwork, thank you.
Darling, I was just wondering, have I missed lunch?
Yes, and tea. If you can't be bothered to come downstairs, then Cook is not going to come all the way up here to serve you. You're not the only one in this house, Geoffrey.
Sorry, dear.
I'm sorry about Geoffrey, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since he ended up in a wheelchair, he seems to think that using stairs is somehow beneath him.
And you did lock me in this cupboard, dear.
It isn't locked, Geoffrey.
Oh.
There's a chair against the handle. That is, in fact, a Chippendale, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you all look up here, you can see some of my family's hunting trophies. A stuffed moose head, which, as you can see, is still attached to the rest of the moose. This moose, of course, was bagged by my grandfather from an impressive distance of 430 yards. He hit it fairly and squarely with the Volvo while on a driving holiday in Canada. The same accident also bagged the stuffed lumberjack you can see on the opposite wall.
I'm sorry, darling. I think there's a rat in here.
Oh, do be quiet, Geoffrey. I'm about to tell our foreign friends all about your portrait.
Sorry, dear.
Yes, now this is an oil painting of my husband Geoffrey standing in front of Bagshot Grange shortly after we were married in 1972. The felt-tip pigs you can see were added by me in 1994. That is because Geoffrey actually comes from pig farming stock, and was therefore never entitled to offer Bagshot Grange as collateral to any fly-by-night insurance bandits and their irresponsible dealings with people of a foreign persuasion.
Now, dear.
Quiet, Geoffrey! It's thanks to you that the Grange is now little more than a theme park for backpackers, OAPs, and the Dutch. You will see from the picture that Geoffrey was at the time using both of his legs to stand as near to upright as the son of a pig farmer can. That's because it was painted long before he hurled himself down the north staircase into the Great Hall in an effort to give me access to his life insurance fund. But you couldn't even get that right, could you?
No, dear. Sorry. Does all rather seem to be my fault, doesn't it?
Yes, well, I'm afraid it is. Let's get you out of the cupboard and see if we can't have another go at that staircase. Following me!
Staircase? What do you mean? No!
It's all right, dear. I'm not badly hurt.
Oh, Geoffrey, do stop lying about. You make the place look so untidy. Following me!
This is a staff announcement. Will Inspector Bomb please come to the Suspicious Packages Gallery on the 4th floor? That's Inspector Bomb to the Suspicious Packages Gallery quite quickly.
Inspector Bomb. Now, what does that mean again?
No, I can never remember the codes.
No.
Inspector Sands, now that's when...
A child's been sick.
Yeah. Inspector Fire, that's a fire.
That's easy, but Inspector Bomb.
Probably a spillage.
Oh, right, I'll get me mop. Yeah, sounds like a spillage.
Quite a large one from the sound of it.
This is a reminder to visitors that the Suspicious Packages Gallery on the 4th floor is now on the 3rd floor and closed for renovation.
Are you asleep? No, I can't. I'm too excited.
Mum says it's just Badgercle.
Come on, you two, settle down.
But, Mum, we're going to Badgerland.
There's thousands of badgers all under one roof. It's called Badgerland, Badgerland, Badgerland.
Yes, come to Badgerland, the country's premier and indeed only Badger-themed theme park. Ride the Badger Coaster. See a 90-foot 3D Badger in the Badger Max Cinema. And new for 2004. Get soaked on the Badger Flume.
Splash my badger.
Touch Badgers. Badgerland, just off the M3 between Dion and Warwick.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be here. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Members of the Academy.
Members van dit academieken.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
There could surely...
Enough
now. There could surely be no higher artistic goal than to provide entertainment based on the talents of others. So tonight, for the 4th year running, we salute the work of tribute acts as we induct another great looky-likey name into the Mock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, it's really fantastic to see so many great tribute acts here to pay tribute. Isn't that right, Mickey?
Yes, Diesel, it is. We have 2 original members of Emerson, Fake and Palmer.
Yow, sir! Good to have you here, guys.
Also, Abba Gaveni, the Welsh Abba. Bon Jovi, the German Bon Jovi.
Germany, of course, home to so many great tribute acts. SS Club 7. Goose Steps. The Jackson 5. 5 Star, and of course, 5.
Tribute acts have come from across the globe to be here tonight. From the Philippines, Manila Ice. From Nigeria, Shariah Carey. From Scotland, a shocking lesbian schoolgirl duo, the Edinburgh Tattoo. And from Ethiopia, Kylie Selassie.
Big up, Your Highness! And special guest, very exciting we have here tonight. It was not much easy for them to get here because of situation in their countries.
Yes, from the Middle East, we have the PLO, the Palestinian Light Orchestra. Tony G. Hadley, Infidel Amitri, and of course, Fatwa Slim. There've been new acts breaking through. Pimply Red, the Teenage McHutnell. Garda, the Irish Police. And I think we're a clone now, the ultimate Tiffany experience.
Sadly, this year has also seen tragedy. The untimely end of one half of Silly Vanilli, the world's premier Milli Vanilli-themed children's entertainers. Boy, we're going to miss you.
True say, Diesel. We've also seen controversy with the faux Solid crew, one of whom has just been sent to prison, ironically, for having a real gun.
But enough.
Yes, because the saddest loss of all, and the reason we're all gathered here.
The man who put the beauty into tribute.
Tonight, we posthumously induct one of the greats. He was the tribute scene's biggest mover and faker.
He began his looker life as a real dead ringer for Meatloaf.
He went on to become like a bat out of Meatloaf. Bit of an unpleasant image there. Before finally settling on, I would do anything for love, but I won't do Meatloaf, which he realised ultimately was misleading. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Fellow tribute acts.
For the tribute acting.
We can remember him perhaps best in his own words. It's only mock and roll, but I looky like it.
Yowser!
And now, providing our halftime entertainment, performing the whole of Dark Side of the Moon on ice, please welcome the stunning Rink Floyd.
Bing bong. This is a staff announcement. Can whoever stole my actual bing bong please bring it back?
Okay,
Right,
cheers then, thanks then, cheers then, thanks then, cheers. Bit of
cheers.
attention, please.
Now we have some good news and some bad news.
The good news is you are now very near to the
gift shop. The bad news is our special visitor has been quite badly held up and injured.
It transpires that her dog went on what can only be described as a spree
in the museum, restaurant and creche.
No matter.
Dogs will be dogs.
It therefore falls to us to open the new Mary Queen of Scots walk-through historical pageantarium.
That's walk through. Don't run. No matter how tedious it may become. So, we now declare the Mary Queen of Scots walk-through historical pageantarium open.
Mary, Queen of Scots, you are an habitual Catholic. You have been found guilty of treason. You will be taken from this place to another place, and that place is the place of awful, lawful execution, and there in that place you will be placed upon the block and have your block chopped off with a chopper.
Oh, hello there. You must all be here to see the execution of Mary, Queen of Scots. For know you not that it is the anniversary of her death this very year? Exactly 417 years ago. But what are you all doing in her cell? Because that's where you are, the new. Why, 'tis a terrible place. Can you no hear the rats? And the horrible spiders? And the spiders fighting the rats? But gather ye round, try not to disturb her the new, for Mary, Queen of Scots, is contemplating her mortality and her terrible situation.
He used to give me roses. I wish it could again. That was on the outside, and things were different then. Oh, hello! I'm Mary, Queen of Scotch, and welcome to my sad, lonely cell.
Och, I the new, watch out, my lords and ladies, for someone's a-coming. Hide, hide, if we're found here, we'll be hung, drawn and quartered. Or we're still hung, drawn and eat, which is twice as bad. For look who it is a-coming, it is none other than...
Oh, hello.
The Gola.
No, it's jailer.
All right.
I am the jailer, but you can call me J-Lo. Don't be fooled by the keys that I got. I'm still jailer of the block. Thank you. So, Mary, Queen of Scotch, have you any last requests?
I'd like a bowl of those smelly, dried flowers.
No, I denounce the evils of popery. Popery. The Pope, you see? You're playing catch-up. Mary, Queen of Scotch, you have a visitor. It is the most powerful virgin in Christendom.
What, Anne Widdecombe?
No, Her Madge herself, Queen Elizabeth the First.
Hello. What do you do?
I'm your wee treasonous cousin.
Yes. And what about later?
I'm being executed.
How fascinating. Well, this is a bit awkward, isn't it?
Aye.
Still, here we are. Just two queens together.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, three queens together.
Thank you.
Of course, it's impossible for me to know what's going through your head.
Well, later on it'll be an axe. But right now it's the repeated phrase, evil ginger bitch.
Well, you shouldn't have called me virgin, because I ain't. I've gone to third base with the Earl of Leicester and everything.
Right, time's up. Mary, Queen of Scotch, it is my duty to escort you to the scaffold. Are you ready, or do you need a wee?
Goodbye, cousin. Bitch.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Slag.
And so Mary made her slow way to the block. Her death loomed at the alley. As she stepped out onto the scaffolding.
Oi, oi! Show us your knockers!
Oh, bloody builders. They said they'd be finished.
Oh, aye, Mary. Don't look now, but it's the executioner and his massive axe. And the executioner wears a mask so that no one will know his fearful identity. Isn't that right, Mr. Executioner?
Yes, that's right. Nobody knows who I am.
I can see your ginger hair.
You're saying my skirt's too short.
Mary, Queen of Scotch, prepare yourself for the executioner's whopper chopper.
Right. Ready, bitch?
Hold on. On the inside, the sun still shines. And the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too.
When morning comes around, it won't die. It used to bring me round. Oh, come on, die, would you?
Take a big swing, you Madge.
All right. Oh, last it's got in the rough.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is how the Scots invented golf.
That was the Museum of Everything, written and performed by Marcus Brigstock, Danny Robbins and Dan Tetzel with Lucy Montgomery. Original music by Dominic Haslam and Ben Walker. The producer was Alex Walsh-Taylor.
This is a priority announcement. Would the owner of a silver Aston Martin DB7 please drive me home at the end of my shift?
That was Season 1, Episode 2 of the Museum of Everything, entitled, A Very Important Visitor Right Here on Airchecks. This is Season 1, Episode 3 of the Museum of Everything, entitled, School Parties Are Welcome.
Welcome to the Museum of Everything. Can school parties please gather in the Greek Sculpture Gallery where they can giggle at penises?
Right, gather round you lot, settle down now. Before we go in, you should all have your How the Egyptians Lived fun sheets and a pencil apiece, apart from you, Crayon Wendy. Now, remember, there are other people using the museum, and you have only got 25 minutes to get around the whole thing, so you will need to run and possibly shove. And it might also help if you scream the answers to each other, particularly in some of the quieter galleries. I'm going to be opening the door in a moment, so it's mobile phones on, please. 3, 2, 1, in you go. Museum of Everything? Okay, cheers and thanks then, cheers. Okay, thank you, cheers.
Cheers, all right, settle down, children, settle down.
Welcome to the museum. I hope you've all filled in your ironically named fun sheets.
Okay, just to recap, the answers for the first section are as follows.
Mary, Queen of Scots? No. Gonorrhea. And question 4, tricky one this. The answer is actually...
Because tonight was made for lovers, because tonight was made for love.
So, well done to anyone who got those right. Just a reminder to you, due to cutbacks,
we do need all of the pencils back at the end,
no
please.
matter where they've been.
I would also remind you that if any of the pencils are not returned, we will be taking it out on your teacher. Interpret that as you will.
Later on, of course, you will be able to visit the gift shop.
Once inside the gift shop,
you will be able to shoplift a range of small items, including pencil sharpeners, plastic soldiers, glow-in-the-dark spiders.
And due to a mix-up with our French suppliers, flick knives, and pornographic playing cards.
Many of which I have now impounded.
So remember, kids, as you get older, you won't find museums any more interesting. You'll just get better at pretending.
Right, that's that out of the way. Do have a good time and no running.
Can the parents of the little girl crying in the portrait gallery please smack her?
Madam Chairwoman, committee, thanks very much for coming along. Now, an audio-visual display you wanted, an audio-visual display you have got. I think you're going to like it. Press the button.
Legendary wizard of King Arthur. Since the dawn of time, man has dreamt of Guildford. With easy access to London and the South Coast, it is the jewel of Surrey. This is the story of Guildford. Guildford was founded by the Romans in AD 52. In 1976, a bit of The Omen was filmed there. But what happened in between? Well, the short answer is nothing. The long answer is not much. So come with me now, as I part the flaps of time, and we look at 2 millennia of pre-Omen Guildford.
Okay, sorry, can we stop it?
Sorry, Madam Chairman,
Is there some sort of problem?
Well, yes. It's just as chair of the town council, I'm a bit worried about how you're portraying Guildford.
Right. Well, you did say to me, Dave, we want an audiovisual display about the history of Guildford. You said we want cutting edge, we want exciting, we want accessible.
Yes, but there's a lot more to Guildford than just the fact that a little bit of The Omen was filmed here.
Is there? Oh, yeah, no, of course, yeah, I know that. Well, don't worry, this next bit's nothing to do with The Omen. It's all about the Saxons. Can you play it?
It is 1000 BO, or before Omen.
Stay with it.
Guildford is a tiny Saxon settlement with no sense of how important it would one day become.
Alfred, what do we call our village?
Well, Ethelbert, see how the ford here runs gold. We shall call it Goldford.
Let us hope it is a good omen, like 1 and 2, not a bad omen like 3 with Sam Neill.
Stop!
But then came the Vikings.
No, can we stop it?
Sorry, that was a good bit. All the kids love Saxon violence.
Sorry, Dave. I don't want to be a stickler on this, but the whole thing seems to be about The Omen.
Well, so's Guildford.
It was only one scene they filmed here.
Well, let me ask you this, Madam Chairman. Titanic. How many scenes was the iceberg in? Space Odyssey. In how many scenes did the monkeys throw their bones into space?
What are you saying?
I'm saying maybe if you had an iceberg and some monkeys, people would come to Guildford.
That's not constructive.
Sorry, it's all for you, Damien.
Deborah.
Yeah, whatever. I do think you are overreacting, though. Just try the next bit, all right?
The English Civil War divided Guildford between royalists and even more royalists.
My liege, the town is literally split in two.
Indeed, very much like David Warner's head and body by that pane of glass in The Omen.
Right, that's it. No more, Dave.
All right,
no
all right.
more.
Listen. All I'm going to say to you, Madam Chairman, is if East Kilbride had thought this way, they'd still be East Kilbride and not Gregory's Girl Country. I think you hear me knocking. I think I'm coming in. Now, look. Perhaps if you just tell me some of the non-Omen things you'd like to see included.
Well, there's a university, lots of places to go out, the Yvonne Arnaud Theatre, of course, the cathedral.
Where The Omen was filmed?
A bit of it, yes. Look, I'm not trying to be negative.
You're being the devil's advocate.
It's nothing to do with the devil. I think you need to focus on Guildford's less Omen-based attractions.
What, like 1 hour from London, 10 hours from New York?
Yeah, something that will get people wanting more information about Guildford.
Ah, well, I'm ahead of you there. I have set up a phone line.
Oh.
And you shall know the number of Guildford tourist information, for it is 01483 666.
The museum is pleased to announce a new acquisition in our ethnography gallery, what is believed to be the shrunken head of 19th century missionary Chester Copperpot, which is now on display with some of the collection's other anthropological finds from the last 2 centuries.
Some of the other?
Some of the other? Is she talking about us?
We're not some of the other finds. We are the original shrunken heads.
They don't get any more shrunken than us.
We are the centre point of the whole ethnography gallery. How long have we been here, dear?
130 years.
Oof. Is it really? Cor, you don't look it, ducks.
Oh, bless. Suppose that's a good thing about having your head decapitated and then pickled.
Slows the ageing process right down.
It does.
And now, some new acquisition comes in, and it's all special announcements.
Oh, just listen to him muttering away. You're not going to say hello, then?
What's the matter? Cannibal's got your tongue?
Surprised he's not in his own display case, dear.
Well, get this. You know that mummified fella in Egyptology? The high priest of Anubis, gold inlaid casket.
What, Terry?
He said they're building this fella his own display case.
The bitch. Makes you sick, doesn't it? You spend 130 years as the backbone, well, skull bone of the whole exhibit.
School parties coming up going, but learning.
Learning. Next thing you know, you're second fiddle to some C of E busybody. Let me tell you this, right? They've not even shrunk that head.
Oh, give over. It's tiny.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It always had a tiny head. Couldn't shrink it down. They didn't have the right vinegar.
Oh,
Oh, she heard that.
certainly didn't shrink your bloody ears, did they?
No, wing nut. Oh, heads up, school party.
Right, let's have a look, see how they go, Pat, then. Fierce faces on.
Little baskets never even stopped.
No, straight through into bloody dinosaurs.
If you're not Harry Potter or related to a Diplodocus, you don't get a look in with kids these days.
I know, if it's not wizards, it's lizards. Still, they never even looked twice at Mr. La-di-da new acquisition, did they?
I hardly mind for it.
Get passed up like that in front of the curator, you'll be put on permanent loan to Wookiee Hole Caves. Like Truffles, the two-headed pig.
Oh, is that where he's gone?
Here, speaking of people leaving, are you going to that party tonight?
Who's that for?
Well, you know Lone Dog, the mummified Apache?
What? Minces with wolves? That's what I call her.
Oh, you are wicked.
Well, I speak as I find, don't I? You should know what I call that little bighorn. It's Little Bighorn.
Oh, don't. Anyway, he's being taken back to his tribal homelands. Though I must say, I've got me reservations.
Oh, did you have to, love?
Yes, I did. No, he's being reclaimed. Apparently it's culturally insensitive to keep him here.
Well, what they'll do with him there, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they've got a humidified casket, have they? Poor love will crumble to dust in under a week.
Never happened to us, dear.
No. Tribe that did us is extinct now.
Ever since the oil company.
Have to stop here, I suppose.
Reservations! Oh, I just got it.
Ooh, she's quick.
This is a reminder to visitors. Please do not leave children unattended, as they will be destroyed.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the study of the Melvin Bragg house.
Oh, wow. Gee, honey, would you look at that?
Wow, that is so British.
Shh, please, please. This is the very room where the great writer and broadcaster worked.
Wow.
As you can see, it has been perfectly preserved to look just as it would have done when Lord Bragg left it.
Oh, yeah.
Looking around, I think you really get a sense that Lord Bragg could almost still be in the house.
Oi, what's going on? Is somebody downstairs?
Did you hear something, honey?
I believe I did.
The reason we operate the tour at night is so that you really get a feel of what it must have been like for Lord Bragg as he sat up writing such classics as A Time to Dance and, well, A Time to Dance.
Who's down there? What are you doing in my study? I called the police.
I think there's someone upstairs.
Yeah.
Yes, it really feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? That's the end of the tour.
What?
Have a look around. Help yourself to souvenirs.
What?
See ya.
No.
Honey, he's gone out the window.
Right, you're in trouble now. I'm gonna hit you with my BAFTA.
The kids are still awake. They're so excited.
I know, I am too. I've been physically sick twice.
Let's just go now.
But it's 3 in the morning. Oh, what the hell? Come on, kids. We're going to Badgerland.
There's hundreds of badgers all under one roof. It's called Badgerland, Badgerland, Badgerland.
Yes, if it's a badger-based outing you're after, then the choice is black and white and covered in fleas. Visit the Badger Shop, eat in the Badgerteria, and get fired out of the exciting Badger Cannon.
Badger Boom!
Yes, Badgerland offers you the chance to get up close and personal with Britain's biggest hedgerow omnivore.
Kiss my badger!
Badgerland, just off the M3 between Chertsey and Melvin Hayes.
Just chuck your coat on there, I'll put the kettle on.
Lovely flat. Oh, Jez, there's a used condom in your aquarium.
It's not an aquarium, it's a display case. Do you take milk?
No, you have a used condom in a display case.
Yes, but don't worry, it's 10 years old. It's part of the collection. Sugar?
No, you have a collection of used condoms.
No, I'm not a nutter. It's a collection that shows the history of all my ex-girlfriends. Have a look around.
You've got loads of cases.
Guilty.
So why the used condom?
Read the label.
The label? Sarah, 1986 to 1988. Actual condom which split, causing a pregnancy scare that revealed the cracks in our relationship, which led to its eventual demise. Nice.
Hobnob or Jaffa cake?
Oh, neither.
Well, coffee's up.
What's this between the dried roses and the heap of wax?
Oh, that's rotting steak. It's the remains of a romantic meal circa 1998. Linda never showed. And if you look next to it, there's the transcript of the text I got the following morning.
VV saws bout last night. Love you, Linda.
Yeah, and then at the end, a colon, a hyphen, and a closed bracket. We haven't been able to decipher what that means.
Smiley face, isn't it?
Right. Yes. Oh, thanks for that. New label to print tomorrow. You can help me if you're still here. See, that's the wonderful thing about curating a collection like this. You're constantly making new discoveries.
Yeah, must keep you busy.
You've no idea. Look at this, for example. See this book? Yep. Very nice. Paperback. A present from...
Debbie?
Yes, how did you...
I read the label.
Good girl. Now, experts believe that it was originally part of a Waterstones 3-for-2 deal.
What's wrong with that?
Well, research now indicates that it was the one she didn't pay for. I don't know how familiar you are with the mating rituals of the late 20th century, but in their culture, that was seen as an insult, or diss, second only to gift wrapping at the last minute a book from your own shelf.
That's really interesting.
Sorry, would you like a guidebook?
No, thanks.
Just the tour, then. OK, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Good. Let's have a look at the Elaine case, my most complete archive of a love gone awry. Photo there of the pub where we had our first date. That, as you can see, is half a cinema ticket for the Mosquito Coast. Our second date with Harrison Ford. He was in it. We didn't go with him. Some letters there. They're all originals. Oh, and yes, we're very lucky to have this. It's a payphone I used to dump her. It's a reconstruction. The original is in the British Museum.
The British Museum?
Yeah, just inside the door by the toilets. I have a nasty feeling it's out of service now.
Sorry, can I just...
Have you finished with your coffee cup? It's just I need to catalogue it. It's all right. I know what you're thinking.
You're weird.
Oh. Oh, well, I don't know what you're thinking then. I thought you were thinking, will tonight lead to just a label? Or will I one day have a whole display case?
No, I'm afraid not. Good night, Jez.
Oh, right. Well... thanks for visiting the collection tonight. There's a box for donations on your way out.
You've got to be kidding.
Only through your generosity can we preserve this collection for future generations.
This is ridiculous. There.
Thank you. And you can't leave without a visit to our gift shop. How about a leather bookmark with Sarah's face on it? Or a massive block of fudge in the shape of her arse?
Ah, barman, 2 pints of the old brown nutty and a yard of brandy.
Well done. Thunder.
Sorry, old thing, did we push in?
No, you're all right.
We're being served.
Good-o. Here for the Parlour Games convention, are you? Didn't see you in the heats for Fan the Kipper.
No, we're next door with the Philately Society.
Well, you know what I always say, philately will get you nowhere.
Well done. Well done.
Bloody funny.
Well done.
Sorry, what did you say your convention was for again?
Parlour and/or drinking games, or should I say, drala and pinking.
Spooner! Well done. Safety first.
What's that involved, then?
Gosh, well, what games do you know? Drinking or parlour, doesn't matter to us.
Charades?
Ah, dumb crambo.
Well done.
With forfeits?
Splosh.
If you don't guess in 20 seconds, it's nads in your pint pot.
Splosh.
Yeah, I've never played that version.
A couple of frames of loose caboose.
Up, Jenkins.
Are you there, Moriarty?
Depth charge.
Whose tongue is that?
No, we never actually played any of those.
Really?
That show.
Great game, Whose Tongue Is That? The rules are all there in the title.
Well done. Well burped.
Ah, barkeep, another brace of nutty browns and a metre of brandy.
Metric.
Ah. And what multi-fizz draft are you two quaffing?
I'll just have a Coke.
Safety first.
Vodka and Coke?
No.
Well done. Vodka first.
I think I'll join you on the vodski. Double up on the voddy and toddies, kind landlord. Right, that's the stout yeoman sorted. Now, what about the filly? What will she drink?
I'm just here.
What will she have?
I'll have an orange.
You decide, old boy.
I'll have an orange.
What do you think she'd like?
She'll have an orange.
Orange, eh? And a pint of Cointreau for the lady.
Ladies first. Thunder!
Right, that's us all bevied up. How's about a drinking game? Whose tongue is that? No?
No.
Damn shame.
How about Charlie Big Potatoes? Damn funny. Chap gets up to go to the loo. Splosh, pop your old fella in his pint.
Well done. Well done.
Don't fancy that? How about a round of dippy dippy sip sips?
Sorry, is this another one involving putting your penis in someone's drink?
Yeah, it is just a bit, you know.
Oh, you don't like those? OK, no winkies in this one. Do you know Thumb Master?
Thankfully, no.
Rum do.
It's quite simple. Thumbs on the table, last man in has to down his pint. We play a similar version, only no thumbs, strictly hairy plums. Plum Master.
Well plumbed.
Damn funny.
Safety first.
Quite right.
Under.
Well, if you've quite...
Well done.
You were saying?
Finished.
We were just going to
Get something to eat. Well, I tell you what, we're pretty lonely. Why not team up?
Scrum down.
No, we just need to get back to our stamp collecting.
Oh, my goodness, I can't believe I missed it. You're collecting stamps. Here's one. Look out.
Ow! Oh, what have you done? Well done. Early bath. Damn funny.
Broken toe.
Token bro.
Spooner. Quite right.
Safety first.
Drinks in.
Scrum down.
Good play.
Well done.
Plums out.
Under.
OK, cheers
All right, settle down, please.
Don't make us use the cattle prod.
Again. Now, you are about to partake in an educational extravaganza.
Now, who here can tell me what the C word is?
That's right. It's
ocean.
Which you are about to visit as you go on Captain Nemo's undersea adventure. No running, no heavy petting, and no bombing in the shallow end.
Your legs might get broken.
Now, that may seem harsh, but rules are rules.
Now, on your way in, you will have seen signs for the giant turtle.
The most exciting creature in the undersea adventure.
But you won't see him because he hides all day and only comes out at night.
When we're shut. Just to piss people off.
OK, that's that out of the way. Try to have fun.
And try not to drown.
Ahar me hearties, I'm Captain Nemo, the anthropomorphized, educational, pirate humpback whale. Today you are my school of learning fish. Har, 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 har. Join I on an undersea adventure to find a lost civilization at the bottom of the ocean. I can promise you, you'll have a whale of a time. Har, har. Just me then, all right. Now, let us dive like an Italian footballer. There are many oceans. The Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, and the Billy Ocean. And they be packed with fish and stuff. From huge whales like I to the tiny seahorse. Or the timid scampi, the only one of Neptune's creatures born with breadcrumbs. Would you like to meet some scampi? I bet you would. Just don't mention tartar sauce. They fear it. Ahoy, scampi!
Hello, Captain!
Now, I'm sure the children are dying to know. What actually are you?
We're scampi and we know it, yes we are. Oh, we're scampi and we know it, yes we are. We're not sure what we're made from, but we're covered in some breadcrumbs. Oh, we're scampi and we know it, yes we are.
I know that, but what actually is a scampi?
We're scampi and we know it, yes we are.
No, you bread-bound weirdos. What are you made from?
Dunno, mate. Bits of fish, I think.
Guts, is it?
The scampi. Truly the chicken nugget of the sea. Tartar, scampi. Come on, children. On we go, nice and quick. The lost civilization shuts at 6. Ooh, look who it is ahead, kiddies. It's my special friend, Mr. Octopus. Looks like he's dancing to his favorite music, reggae, played on the harmonica.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your ass.
Oh no! He's pretending his tentacles are dreadlocks. Stop, Mr. Octopus. Stop your racially dubious dance.
Easy, Babylon. Me just cool skanking, you know.
And the voice.
Sorry. Did you know the collective noun for octopuses is a bitch slap? Octopuses can change colour, like Michael Jackson. Only we don't bed down with the kiddies. In the wild, I eat mollusks and shrimps, but here in captivity, I have to make do with lamb Rogan Josh.
How fascinating. Love to chat, but we're all off to the bottom of the ocean. You don't know which way it is, do you?
I certainly do. It's that way.
Oh, no! He's pointing in 8 different directions. You rasbumber Clark.
Sure, you batsy man.
Ooh, look, children. A dolphin. Maybe he'll lead us to the lost civilization. Here's a question for you boys and girls. Are dolphins fish or mammals? Neither. They're bisexual. If they don't get it off both types, they drown. What's that, Mr. Dolphin? You're off to lead more tuna into nets, you little tinker. Hold on to the dolphin's prehensile knob, everyone, as we go even deeper. Deeper. Listen, children. Listen to the sounds of fish. Not the one from Merlion. Actual tiny fish. You can hear their tiny voices, but they are invisible to the naked eye, like the artist formerly known as Prince. So, here we are at last, children, at the bottom of the ocean. This is the fabled civilization lost to humanity. Look at the ruins, the washed-up old wrecks, and the strange people with their funny, fishy faces. And what be the name of this terrible place? Why, me hearties, we call this place...
Guildford! Where they filmed The Omen!
A bit of The Omen.
That was the Museum of Everything, written and performed by Marcus Brigstock, Danny Robbins and Dan Tetzel, with Lucy Montgomery. Original music by Dominic Haslam and Ben Walker. The producer was Alex Walsh-Taylor.
This is a staff announcement. Does anybody know what that noise means? That can't be good, can it?
That was Season 1, Episode 3 of The Museum of Everything, entitled, School Parties Are Welcome. Right here on Airchecks. The Burkiss Way is a BBC Radio 4 sketch comedy series, originally broadcast between August 1976 and November 1980. It was written by Andrew Marshall and David Renwick, with additional material in Seasons 1 and 2 by John Mason, Colin Bostick-Smith, Douglas Adams, John Lloyd, Tom McGee Englefield, and Liz Pollock. The first season of the show starred Denise Coffey, Chris Emmett, Nigel Reese, and Fred Harris. From Season 2 onwards, the show starred Joe Kendall, Chris Emmett, Nigel Reese, and Fred Harris. The series had 3 producers, announced as Simon Brett of Stepney, John Lloyd of Europe, and David Hatch of the BBC Hatch. The show's humor was based on surrealism and literary and media parodies, sprinkled with puns. Here is Season 2, Episode 4 of The Burkiss Way, entitled, Lesson 10, Govern Britain the Burkiss Way, right here on Airchecks.
This is Radio 4. And now, before we spend another hilarious half hour the Burkiss Way, we've just got time to play you the thing that goes... But before that, news of your listening later today here on Radio 4. Well, that was, of course, an excerpt from the thing that goes... And you can hear the whole of that in just a few minutes here on Radio 4. That's followed by me saying, this is Radio 4, which is, of course, a repeat of me saying this is Radio 4, first broadcast on Radio 4, just before I started telling you about Radio 4 programmes later today here on Radio 4. After that, it'll be time for an announcement about the programme that follows next here on Radio 4. The Burkiss Way. This is Radio 4.
And now it's time for the Burkiss Way.
Well, that was an excerpt from Radio 4 announcer Deirdre Smoth's announcement about the Burkiss Way. And you can hear the whole of that announcement right now here on Radio 4.
This is Radio 4. And now, the Archers. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'll read that again. And now, the Archers.
Do you have trouble reading announcements on the radio? Would you rather be doing something more interesting, like learning how to make millions, or maybe even just one or two? Well, so would I. But instead, we've got to listen to Joe Kendall, Nigel Reese, Chris Emmett and Fred Harris in this week's course on the Burkiss Way to Dynamic Living. So stay tuned now for Lesson 10, Govern Britain, the Burkiss Way. Good evening. Or if you're listening to the lunchtime edition of this show, good evening and hard luck. Have you ever wondered what it would be like actually to govern Great Britain? Several recent prime ministers have. And yet, sweeping to power and taking over the reins of the country can be a comparatively simple process if we follow the method of our mentor and presiding genius, Professor Emil Burkiss.
You may, of course, be a politician already. Or, on the other hand, you may be a Conservative. Either way, you'll know that winning elections isn't easy. Mr. Arthur Cerebellum, I understand you have never actually become an MP in your life.
That is correct, yes. Yes.
Why is this?
I possess the intelligence of a brick. I have a IQ of minus 5.6. And I think the 10 Downing Street is a crossword puzzle clue.
I see. But why have you never become an MP?
Oh, I suffer from insomnia.
Yes, tragic. And yet Arthur Cerebellum is just one of thousands of people all over the country. It makes you think, doesn't it? Let's hope it has the same effect on our politicians. Well, rather than go through our course stage by stage, we're now going to devote the rest of the programme to a detailed documentary about the run-up to and the winning of a general election. It will be helpful if you keep a pencil and some paper handy, just in case you want to wrap up a pencil while the broadcast's on.
Good evening. Or for lunchtime listeners, good evening, and don't let the gravy boil over. In Tonight, we talk to the head of the Inland Revenue at his home in Transylvania. Ludovic Kennedy will be looking at Margaret Thatcher, and serve him right. And Melvin Bragg will be meeting a man with two navels who does a rather novel impression of Jimmy Durante. And, of course, the hot news of the week, Sue Lawley's visit to the dry cleaners. But first, today's by-election. And over now for an on-the-spot report from Clifford Hushed Voice.
Good evening, or remember to watch the sprouts. Welcome here to Prestwick Town Hall, where we're just now awaiting the results of this very, very crucial mid-term by-election to be announced.
As returning officer for this constituency, it is my duty to declare the results of the ballot as follows. Thomas Arthur Tory,
Conservative.
15,673 votes. Norman Richard Labour,
Conservative, but is embarrassed by Margaret Thatcher.
16,000 13,934 votes. James Nigel Marxist,
Conservative but reads books.
13 votes. Reginald Montmorency Nothing,
Liberal.
1,867,244 toads.
And they've done it. The Liberals have done it. They said all through this campaign they were going solidly for the toad vote. And could this be the start of a new revival for the party now? Back to John's sideboards in the studio.
Yes, so there we are. The Liberals have scored a convincing majority there. It looks as though they've really got the toads solidly behind them. Bob, swingometer?
Well, yes, I don't know about solidly, John. The breakdown of results just coming in does show that a significant number of bullfrogs abstained in this election, and several hundred newts were unable to find their way to the polling station. Added to which, of course, it was a very wet day, which always leads to a deceptively high turnout by amphibious voters, so I don't think we should read too much into these results.
David Dimble hairstyle. I am sure many of us were rather surprised to learn that a toad could actually vote in an election.
Oh, yes, providing it's over 18 and not an undischarged bankrupt. and in fact, I think the Liberals do deserve a lot of credit for being the first to realise the vote-catching potential of pond life in this election.
Thank you, David. Robin?
Yes, well, to examine that question a little more closely, we have with us a typical member of the Liberal Party, Mr. Engelbert Novelty, a 35-stone dog food advertiser from the Outer Hebrides. And next to him, we have a Conservative and member of the Labour Party, Mrs. Shirley Jenkins. Next to her, we're very pleased to have a toad. Now, before we start, Mr. Novelty, let's just have a look at part of the campaign which led up to this stunning win by your party in Prestwick today. Here's Dominic Harrod, and here's a soggy lump of blotting paper.
Prestwick Municipal Gardens. Not the first place you'd think of coming to drum up votes on the eve of a crucial by-election. And yet, that's exactly what local Liberal candidate Reg Nothing has set out to do. Because Mr. Nothing is canvassing among toads.
Good afternoon. I wonder if you could spare me a minute or two of your time. My name is Nothing, and I'm your Liberal candidate in tomorrow's by-election. Yes, I know, but you see, this stems directly from the deficiencies inherent in our Constitution. No, not at all. We should keep a much tighter rein on public spending, you see. Look, there's no need to take that attitude.
Another failure for Reg Nothing. I asked him what made him do it.
Well, and of course that particular case was purely an isolated one. The plain simple fact is that the average toad in this country is sick to the teeth with our outmoded two-party system.
And they'd all rather see a Liberal as their new MP?
Well, no, they'd rather see a toad, but a Liberal is the next best thing.
Well, Mr. Novelty, the question I must put to you is this. Who dreamed up this whole toad idea in the first place?
Well, it were our party's economics expert.
Pardo?
I said it were our party's economics expert. And what's more, it's going to get us back into government.
Back into government?
Aye.
But the question I must put to you is this. How do you see the public reacting to your already stated pledge to bring in a new Snails on Wheels service and introduce free tadpole clinics on the National Health?
They'll get used to it.
I see. Well, back to John now for some more late news.
Yes, and the startling news just on the tape is that to cope with the Liberal threat, the Prime Minister has just announced a shock new cabinet reshuffle, replacing nearly all of the top ministers with characters from the Beano. Over now to Angela Contact Lens for the details.
And the savage list of sackings by Mr. Callaghan this evening has already rocked Westminster. Out go Michael Foot and Shirley Williams, and in come Little Plum, your Redskin chum, and the Bash Street Kids. Other changes. Social Services Secretary Mr. David Ennals makes way for General Jumbo and his private army. And Harold Lever is relieved of his post as Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster by Biffo the Bear and Buster. Dennis the Menace is Chancellor of the Exchequer, so no change there.
Well, we will be keeping you posted with all the latest news on the political front there. But right now, the story that's on everybody's lips this evening. Sue Lawley's visit today to the dry cleaners in North Acton. Sue Lawley was there.
Good evening, or don't forget to stir the soup. Is this the dry cleaners?
Yes, madam.
I see. And are you the assistant standing behind the counter?
Yes, madam.
The plump, discreetly sunburned, dark-haired assistant?
Yes, madam.
With the small but telltale mole visible on the left arm, below your brilliant yellow short-sleeve sweater, contrasting starkly with the muted pastel shades of the advertisement-covered walls.
That's right, madam.
It's no substitute for television, is it?
No. Right, well, can I help you?
Yes, I've brought some clothes in to be dry cleaned.
Some what, madam?
Some clothes.
Some clothes? Look, madam, this is a dry cleaners, not a holiday camp. Don't waste my time, if you please. Good day.
I'm sorry, I understood you cleaned clothes for people.
Where did you get that idea, pal?
The sign in the window that says, "We clean clothes for people."
No, we don't do that.
Why have you got a sign saying you do, then?
It's in code.
In code?
That's right, pal.
What does it actually say, then?
Says we clean clothes for people. It's a very simple code.
Don't give me that. Look, I want this coat cleaned, please.
Cleaned?
Yes. I want you to clean this coat for me.
Can't you clean it yourself?
I don't want to clean it myself. I want you to clean it.
I can't make this out. Hang on, I'll have to ring my superiors. Hello, Mr. Perskins. Got a lady down here who wants us to clean a cat for her.
Coat?
Sorry, wants us to coat a cat for her.
Clean a coat?
What? Yeah, wants us to clean a coat for her.
Well, Waterton, I'm rather tied up with work at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're rather tied up with work at the moment.
And I've got an important client in here with me.
Oh, I see. You've got an important client in there with you.
I think under the circumstances you'd better go ahead and humour her.
Oh, you think that under the circumstances I'd better go ahead and humour her, do you?
Waterton, the listeners can hear my voice at the other end of the phone, you know.
Oh, I see. The listeners can hear your voice at the other end of the phone, can they?
Yes, so stop repeating everything.
Right, I'll stop repeating everything. All right, madam. One coat cleaned, is it? All right, when did you want it by?
Well, the end of the month would be fine.
End of the month? Sure, be reasonable, pal. There is a war on, you know.
No, there isn't.
Isn't there?
No, it finished ages ago.
Oh. Les, don't bother to rush with those ARP wardens' uniforms. Right, this coat. Did you want it Retex?
What exactly is Retex?
50p more.
Ah, yes. All right, then.
Right, goodbye.
Hang on. Don't you want my name and phone number?
Don't kid yourself, lady.
I mean for the ticket.
Oh, yeah. Just fill this in.
Right. And I might add, it's the last time I shall come here for my dry cleaning. Good day. Well, from dry cleaning, we move on to the country's economy. And we look at the...
Yeah! Could you wash a pair of socks for me?
I beg your pardon?
Well, be fair. We're cleaning your coat. Did you wash a pair of socks for me?
Certainly not.
All right. Just put this vest in soak, then. It's not much to ask.
Get out of my way, please. I'm doing an important BBC current affairs broadcast. The economy. And reports just coming into our London studio show that it's been a very tough day for Britain on the foreign exchange, with the pound slipping 15 cents against the dollar following an adverse episode of the gambles in the Daily Express. But what can we do about this disastrous menace? Well, we can stop reading it and hand you back to the studio, because some more shock results are just coming in. John Sideboards.
Yes, thank you, Sue. And the devastating news here is that 3 minutes ago, a general election on the issue who runs the country, the government or the unions, was called by Joe Gormley. And we've just heard that the election has been won by the Liberals, yes. The Watervoles are asking for a recount, but I don't think there's any doubt that we've got here now our first Liberal government for 69 years. Bob Mackenzie, that big thing you're swinging backwards and forwards in the corner, what does that show?
Well, basically it shows I'm as nutty as a fruitcake. But I think it's very interesting at this point to speculate what kind of measures will be introduced now by a party with absolutely no experience of government whatever.
Well, we're about to discover the answer to that any minute, because the Liberals are already rushing through their new budget. A few minutes ago, when the new Chancellor left Downing Street, he had with him his familiar, battered old bag. But unfortunately, no punchline whatsoever. Just a moment. We have now news of the Chancellor's first crisis measure coming through. Yes, I think... Yes, it's 2 inches off table legs. 2 inches off the legs of all tables, dining, kitchen, or lounge, as from July the 1st. Peter Oppenheimer, how useful is this move likely to be?
Table height adjustment policies tend to be pretty ineffective in reducing public spending, but on the other hand, they don't really do anything else either. In fact, they're quite useless.
A bloody waste of time?
Well, I wouldn't say that, John.
Wouldn't you?
Well, yes, I would.
I'm sorry to interrupt there. I'm sorry to interrupt, Peter, but the moves are coming in thick and fast now. What's this? Yes, well, this was on the cards all along, of course. Putting on aftershave reduced to 3 smacks on each cheek.
Yes, nothing surprising there. Although it is interesting to note that the rate remains the same for men and women.
Yes. Just a moment, there's something else coming in here now. What have we here? Oh, yes, now this is... I thought so. Crusts cut off all ham sandwiches. For the union reaction to that, back to Robin.
And with me now to be cruelly insulted are top union leaders Arthur Kant and Mick McBigotry. Mr. Kant, the question I must put to you is this. How do you see this radical redevelopment of the country's economy affecting free collective wage bargaining?
Sheffield Wednesday.
No. Mr. McBigotry?
Will it be Arthur Askew?
No, I'm sorry. The correct answer was, we have a situation at this moment in time whereby maximum manoeuvrability at this moment in time cannot be maintained at this moment in time. Well, back to you, John.
The Chancellor, Mr. Cyril Smith, has nearly finished his budget speech now. But when he sits down, the ministers at the other end of the bench are expected to hit the roof. Yes, there they go now. So, what a controversial speech there. Yes, even more controversial, though, is expected to be the Liberals' forthcoming new piece of legislative reform, the notorious Pun Bill. Back to Angela Contact Lens.
Well, briefly, the effect of the new Pun Bill, if passed by Parliament, will be to outlaw the use of all play on words and prohibit the display and broadcasting of puns in any form. With me now is Rupert Smut, the editor of the top-selling daily tabloid The Pun, which is, of course, famous for its regular page-3 wordplays like... Couple fall out at dance, girl says she'll wear a higher neckline next time. Man takes off in a jumbo jet, zoo says he shouldn't have stood so close behind elephant. Honeymoon bed collapses. Husband stands up for his conjugal rights. Mr. Smut, if this new bill goes through, puns such as these will become illegal. Does that worry you at all?
Well, I'm one of millions who believe that puns are nothing to be ashamed of, Angela. There is nothing sinful about showing off a good, healthy pun. Was it not God who said to Moses, keep taking the tablets?
No, I don't think it was.
Well, it was something like it anyway. Now, I don't think they dare ban puns, you know, Angela. I mean, think what would happen. ITV comedy shows would grind to a standstill. The Times would be prosecuted for obscene posters. Esther Ranson would lose the will to live. No, I can't.
Well, we've just heard that the controversial pun bill has now been passed by Parliament and is at this moment going for the Royal Seal, which will clap its flippers and balance an orb on its snout before finally becoming an illegal pun.
And already the effect of the new act has led to illicit peddling of gags and jokes in London's back streets, as our reporter has been finding out.
No, I haven't even been drinking.
I see you're a broad-minded sort of gent, sir. Enjoy a good pun, do you, eh? Look, how about some of these, then, eh? All good quality stuff. Look at this, eh?
How do you start...
Oh, shh. Oh, keep your voice down, the fuzzer about.
Oh, sorry. How do you start a teddy bear race? Ready, teddy, go.
No. What about this one?
Did you hear about the two flies playing football in a saucer? They're playing in the cup next week. Why is a set of dentures like a glass of sherry? Because they're both aperitif brackets aperitif.
Pretty good stuff, eh, sir?
Yes. Haven't you got anything a bit stronger?
A bit stronger, sir. Well, as a matter of fact, you're in lucky. Eh? Look, I've got some really hot Danish puns in. Have to get a load of this, eh?
Matta erta itsnies. Han soit jovicolor. Hanoi nukimit einen columsians.
No, sir, not your style, eh? Look, I'll tell you what, want to see a film show, eh? Really hardcore puns, eh? No kidding. This is one of the strongest movies you'll see in this country. Absolutely no gags left to the imagination. Well, there's a pun on everything, I tell you. Only £5.
Is that on the level?
No, it's in a room on the first floor.
There's your £5.
Oh, yeah, that'll be another £1 for that last pun.
OK, there.
Right out, come this way. OK, yeah, here we are, sir, now. I think you'll enjoy this. That film's just starting, here we go.
Gala Innuendos, in association with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, present The Puns of Navarone. Captain Basher Briggs of the Royal Air Force cut a fine figure of a man, but the man wasn't very pleased. Briggs himself was built like a tank, small and square with water pipes sticking out the side. There was only one thing he liked better than getting stuck into the jerry: fighting Germans. Every morning, Poltergeist Malone, his trusty Cockney Batman, would wake him up just before dawn. Wake up, Captain! Wake up, Dawn!
How?
Come on, Captain, come on. Cool, blimey, it's a cold morning, lover, duck.
Very well.
Here, I think your knocker just went.
It's all right. I've got a spare on me.
Blimey, it's Skipper Winko Binky.
What ho, chaps, what ho? I've just been posted from Blighty.
Hang on, then. Let's help you out of the envelope.
Right, righto. No time to lose, men. Orders from GHQ. We're to put on these Salvation Army uniforms and take these tambourines.
You mean...
Yes, they've got a mission for us at last. Not only that, we're to fly out and bomb Navarone.
Now then, according to this map, we're 50,000 feet beneath the surface of the Earth.
Idiot, you're holding it upside down.
Oh, so I am. Hang on, I think I've spotted something below.
Tank!
It's all right, don't mention it.
OK, platoon, this is it. Is the Bombay officer here?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, indeed, I am. Right here.
I've set all the bombs in place, Winko.
Right, Dawn. Drop 'em. Great. Now the bombs.
All right. Stop this film. This is a police raid. We've been hearing about these licentious shows. This place is a den of iniquity and the most despicable extremes of vice. We are seizing all these pans and taking them from this pernicious hole of ill repute down to Scotland Yard.
Oh, just a minute, officer.
Yes, what is it?
This is Scotland Yard.
Oh, all right then. You mind if I watch? All right, men, carry on. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, that's enough hardcore corn for 1 week. If you've listened carefully to today's course, you could soon be like the Liberals, sweeping the country. Right off your brooms now to the Burkiss Way's Panorama Centre, Soho. And by return of post, we'll rush you Joe Kendall, Nigel Reese, Chris Evett and Fred Harris under plain brown cover. Sample the sizzling, pornographic material of Andrew Marshall and David Renwick, completely uncensored by producer Simon Brett of Stepney. Well, only a bit. Join us again next week, folks, for more incredible secrets of a successful life. Till then, good night. Or don't forget to clear the table and happy dynamic living.
That was Season 2, Episode 4 of The Burkiss Way, entitled, Lesson 10, Govern Britain the Burkiss Way, right here on Airchecks. Here is Season 2, Episode 5 of The Burkiss Way, entitled, Lesson 11, The Journey to the Unknown, the Burkiss Way.
This is Radio 4. And now, Limpets Hour.
Hello. And in today's Limpets Hour, we'll be looking at the latest limpet fashions. And we'll be hearing episode 45 of Limpet Passion, by an elderly limpet who likes health foods. First, though, this winter's fashions. June. Thank you, Sue. Well, the big news this winter is that shells are out. Instead, Dior has gone for the shell look. Susan Small has also chosen the more shell-like shells, including colourful accessories like wraparound shells, chunky shells, and full-length flared culotte cut wide above the knee in the French manner, but shells really. So there we have it, a load of mollusks. But now, episode 45 of Limpet Passion, read by someone who once made a terrible mistake on a much more important programme.
He held her in his strong, manly suckers. Your eyes are like limpet pools, he breathed, and your smile warms the cockles of my cockles. Suddenly, he felt as if a huge explosion had knocked all the breath out of him, and all at once he realized his true feelings for her. Oh, darling limpet mine, he said, but it was too late. She had gone off.
Oh. Well, Limpet's hour seems to have ended some 58 minutes early today, so... In the meantime, we present the Burkiss Way.
Well, we apologise for the loss of actors in this edition of the Burkiss Way. We're doing our best to rectify the problem. In the meantime, the programme will continue in sound effects only. Well, we're pleased to say we can now return the actors to you. The BBC would like to apologise for the inconvenience of this little disruption, which had absolutely nothing to do with money. At all. Bit.
Yes, and prompt, fat BBC payments are the subject of this week's Burkiss Way to Dynamic Living, because this week we look at the unknown. In just 28 minutes, Joe, Kendall, Chris Emmett, Nigel Reese and Fred Harris will teach you absolutely all there is to be known about the unknown, nothing. So stay tuned now for Lesson 11 in our weird and uncanny series of correspondence courses, Journey into the Unknown, the Burkiss Way. Hello. Well, as this program is the last in the series, but 8, we're devoting it to a very special and highly complex subject, the supernatural.
And we'll be answering for you such tantalising questions as, when shouldn't you lay a ghost?
When it's under 16.
Can black magic be harmful to your health?
Not so long as you steer clear of the soft centres.
And what does it mean when you wake up in the morning with 2 little red teeth marks on your neck?
Mind your own business.
We'll also be finding out what it's actually like to die. Unless we get some better jokes.
Since very early times, people have believed in the idea of reincarnation or the transmigration of souls after death.
But how do you actually go about being reincarnated? Well, for a start, you'll have to attend an interview. Come in. Hello. Take a seat, please. You're the candidate for reincarnation, are you?
Yes, that's right, yes.
Now, I must make sure you're completely dead, first of all.
Oh, yes, of course.
Right. Well, that's that over. Now then, what did you want to be reincarnated as?
As a buffalo, please.
A buffalo, right. You were a buffalo in your previous life, were you?
No, I worked in a garage.
As a buffalo?
No.
Near a buffalo?
No.
Oh, well, this is rather tricky. You see, we do generally like candidates to have some experience of their desired life.
Well, how do I get the experience?
Well, by being a buffalo, of course.
You mean I can't be a buffalo until I've been one already?
Oh, you're Jewish, are you? Oh, well, I don't think we could make you a Jewish buffalo. It's quite unheard of. Besides, they look awful in skull caps.
No, I'm not Jewish.
No, of course you're not. All right, then, let's have a look at your legs.
They're quite hairy. Look.
Not enough, I'm afraid.
What, hairs?
No, legs. You see, I knew you weren't suited for it the moment you came in. And now, to cap it all, you've only got 3 legs. You're quite unsuitable. Quite unsuitable, I'm afraid. I just can't take the risk of making a garage mechanic a buffalo and having you gallop off in the middle of a stampede, plunge under another buffalo and start draining its sump.
Oh, please.
No, it's out of the question. Anyway, look at it like this. In the order of things, buffaloes come pretty low down the list, you know, near toads, sloths, eels and the bachelors. You wouldn't like it.
I would. I'd love to be a buffalo. Look, watch me. Watch this.
Don't do that, please. We've just had the carpet cleaned. Look, I've got plenty of other vacancies. A deaf chartered accountant, a civil servant who picks his nose, a tramp with a hernia. Don't any of those appeal to you at all?
Look, if I've got to take something other than a buffalo, at least make sure it's not a human. Anything rather than another human.
Oh, well, let's see then. You're in luck. I've got just the thing. It's a pike.
Oh, I'll take it.
Excellent. Off you go then, Magnus. Good luck.
Oh, good luck, yes. Now, that raises an interesting point, because... Luck.
There will now be a short intermission.
Coming soon to this intermission, 20th Century Burkiss present horror films for the nervous. Pictures that you may find a wee bit on the uncomfortable side, but not all that much.
Thrill to Jules Verne's nerve-shattering 20,000 bits of seaweed under the sea. Crawl with the unseen horrors of Edgar Allan Poe's The Loaf and the Pendulum. Scream at the terrors of I Married a Man from Outer Hackney.
Burkiss horror films for the nervous provide a unique experience in slightly disagreeable motion pictures. Witness the blood-curdling Dracula, Ponce of Darkness.
No, keep away.
Oh, come here, Butchbox, I want you. I want you.
No.
Oh, come on. Oh.
Good God, Charles, look, that horrible red-stained mouth. The insatiable way he's sucking. He's pinched her strawberry lolly.
From the people who brought you The Fall of the Trousers of Usher, Quatermass and the Puddle, and that spine-tingling epic, The Curse of the Mummy.
Oh! It! You spilled sauce down your shirt.
Sorry, Mummy.
Watch if you dare the nerve-wracking Sweetie Todd, the Demon Barber.
That's some dandruff you've got there, Mr. Smedley.
Yes, the theatre management can accept no liability for any member of the audience who says, "Dear me," or "Well, I never," during this performance. Burkiss horror films for the nervous, coming soon to this intermission.
Hello, and welcome back to our course on the unknown. Well, with us now we have a distinguished expert in life after death. He's head of the Practical Seance Department at Cambridge University, Professor Leibniz Ectoplasm. Professor Ectoplasm, in your expert opinion, is life possible after death? Give 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. So there we are. Yes, says Professor Ectoplasm. Another man who certainly ought to know a thing or two about the subject, but unfortunately doesn't, is Eric Pode of Croydon.
Good evening.
Mr. Croydon, what are you doing?
I'm waving to my wife.
This is the radio.
Oh, sorry, they look very much alike, don't they?
Mr. Croydon, I understand you come from a background of the black arts.
That's right, yeah. My father was magical by profession.
How do you mean?
It was a miracle he ever got a job.
And I believe your house was possessed by evil fiends.
Yes, Lewisham Borough Council. I got all these off Ken Dodd, you know.
It's all right. I shouldn't think he's missed them. Mr. Croydon, I gather you have the power of levitation.
Correct, yes.
And anything you touch immediately starts to rise.
Correct, yes.
Right, well, I think that's about as far as I wish to pursue that. Mr. Croydon, thank you, and get out.
It's a pleasure. Well, it would have been if
A large number of books have, of course, been written on the subject of the unknown. One of our women correspondents, for example, frequently curls up with Wheatley and Asimov, although sometimes she curls up with him and doesn't. So, let's examine for a minute some of the latest publications on the market.
Good evening, and tonight on This Programme is Way Above Your Level, we talk to Eric von Kontrick, author of such best-selling books as Spaceships of the Gods, some more of me, spaceships of the gods. And it shouldn't happen to spaceships of the gods. Now, Professor von Kontrick, one of the most interesting things about your series of books, in which you claim that mankind is descended from beings from outer space, is that they all seek to prove exactly the same thing using exactly the same evidence. Now, why is this?
You think they're all the same? Have you read them all?
Well, yes, I have. That's why I...
So what does it matter if they're all the same if you read them all? I mean to say that's the whole purpose of the...
I see. You are only in it for the money. Does this mean that you don't actually believe what you say? That man is descended from extraterrestrial life forms?
How can I not believe it? The evidence is incontrovertible.
And do you use that same evidence again in your new book coming out next week?
No. I use entirely new evidence that I have manufactured, discovered over the last year.
To prove that man is descended from the stars?
No. To prove that man is descended from the ants.
Ants? Ants? You mean that this displaces your theory that he came from the stars?
Oh, no. They're just aimed at different sectors of the market. This one is directed at ant enthusiasts, you see.
But this is incredible.
That's the point. It's incredible. I've got a new kiddies book coming out, too. That is based on incontrovertible proof that mankind is descended from little fluffy white kittens in pink boots. And also a natty little number for lonely housefrau, proving that mankind is descended from Sasha Distel. Oh, a lovely chapter on primeval slime in that one.
Just a minute. What was that?
And I worked out that the ant book will get me a new yacht. The fluffy kittens book will buy me a couple of those rather nice Lagondas.
Something's going wrong.
Eric von Kontrick.
Yeah?
I am Ulam of the race of your forefathers from the galaxy of Smegmon. We've come for our cut.
Cut? What cut?
Don't try and mess me about, Professor.
No.
They don't call me Ulam for nothing, you know.
My God, this has got to be the most incredible sight the world has ever seen. An enormous alien monster has smashed his way into the building here. And it's indescribable. It's absolutely indescribable. It's at moments like this that I really wish I worked in television because... Well, because to be honest, they pay a bit better. And it certainly seems to be a more glamorous life. You walk into the bar at Television Centre, it's a whole different world, isn't it? And just because you work in radio, they treat you like some sort of country bumpkin. But I know that if I did work in television, I'd still keep up with my old friends in radio, you see, because I'd still respect radio, because I think it's a very important and valid medium. It's just that I would rather work in television, that's all. Well, I only wish that you could see this. Oolong has picked up Professor Kontrick now and is taking him out to the gleaming white spaceship standing like a proud tower in the remains of Langham Place. And there aren't any of those slobs from television getting a look in here. They're probably all standing round in their smart little Television Centre bar drinking gin and tonics. While out here on radio, we're witnessing history in the making. Only you can't actually see it. And wait a minute. Something is happening. What a turn-up. There's a positive tidal wave of very determined-looking ants sweeping up Oxford Street. And they look as if they mean business, all right. Oh, eat your heart out, Richard Baker. You're not getting any of this. And here come the fluffy white kittens now. Yes, they're moving in with their business manager. Oh, my God. But I think the worst is yet to come. My God, yes, the very worst. This is it. This is the end.
Raindrops keep falling on us. Raindrops keep falling.
I'm sorry, we seem to have had a slight technical hitch there. What you have just heard was, in fact, just an imaginary interview and did not actually take place. In fact, we would like to emphasize that particularly imaginary were the remarks made by the imaginary interviewer which seem to suggest that there might be any feelings of bitterness or resentment between radio and television staff. In fact, television staff only get paid very slightly more than radio staff. Though we admit that
there is a slight difference, and we in radio also have a perfectly good and worthwhile bar for having a nice drink and a bit of a chat in, and there's nothing to complain about at all in that area, even if some of the lino is a bit scruffy at the edges. Now we return you to the last few minutes of the Burkiss Way to Dynamic Living.
Well, I'm not all that worried about the money in radio, are you?
Well, I wouldn't mind a dress allowance.
Don't know. Thought you looked quite nice in that barrel.
But the knot hole at the front isn't really big enough. In fact, I'd rather have a... What?
I think they're back.
What? Oh. And so we come to the end of our programme on the unknown. And we finish off with a more detailed look at one couple's experience of the land of the dead in the Burkiss Way in action.
Since the beginning of time, people everywhere have been fascinated by great romances. Lovers like Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor have brought pleasure to millions the world over, which explains why they look so exhausted. This is the story of Orpheus and Eurydice Sprout. Orpheus Sprout had met his wife Eurydice one year in a little nightclub in Paris, which was a bit embarrassing as he told her he was on a business trip to Carlisle. Now they were renting a council slum in East London, and for Orpheus, times were extremely hard.
The little hand's on Mickey Mouse, and the other hand's on Donald Duck. So what does that mean?
It means it's time to stop playing with your toys and go to bed. Honestly, Orpheus, when are you going to get a job?
You're right. It is time I got some work. I know. Orpheus. Why didn't I think of it before? Orpheus was a singer. A singer, don't you understand?
You mean...
Yes. I'll get a job as a sewing machine.
But when that job fell through, Orpheus Sprout decided to sing after all. He took lessons from Tom Jones on how to make it really big. And before long got his first spot on television's #1 talent show, New Embarrassments.
You're a star, a tiny suit and a new guitar. And I know that
you... Good evening and welcome to another edition of New Embarrassments, and our first act tonight is a very funny club comedian from Liverpool. Let's have a very big warm welcome for talented impressionist Jerry No Hope.
Betty.
Jerry No Hope there of Liverpool. John, read it all off a card. How would this boy go down in your nightclubs?
Marion looks good and has a fine pair of jugglers. The jugglers look good, and I think if there were...
Well, while John's answering that, let's move on to our next act. A singer from East London, ladies and gentlemen, Orpheus Sprout.
Ahem. Oh, for the wings, for the wings of a dove.
And it was at this point that Orpheus received the final crushing blow to his ambitions as a star. He won the show. The following day, he decided that there was only one way to raise money for himself and Eurydice, insure his life for £1 million, and then kill himself.
Right, here I am, standing on top of this bridge, talking to myself in a thoroughly unnatural fashion. Now I'll just tie this heavy anvil round my neck with this rope, and then throw it over. Ah. Damn, must have made the rope too long. I'll just have to blow my brains out with this gun. Missed. Now, there's only one thing for it. I shall have to blow myself up.
And later that day, in Orpheus's bedroom...
There, I've wired up the explosives. Now all I have to do is press this plunger. Hang on, there's somebody outside playing a sound effect of footsteps. I'll better put this detonator underneath the bed. Oh, Mother! Mother!
Orpheus, I don't know how to tell you this.
What, Mother?
It's Eurydice. Oh.
What are you trying to tell me?
She's...
Come on out with it, don't hold it back.
She's got a job in Crossroads.
I can't believe it.
A few people can. It's true. She signed on this morning, Orpheus. She's gone to the land of the dead. No man returns alive.
Then I shall follow her down into that place of lost souls and bring her back.
Oh, no, Orpheus, no!
And fired with a burning passion for his loved one, Orpheus descended from the land of the living to ATV, where he crossed through the purgatory of celebrity squares until he came across the treacherous nether regions of Meg Richardson.
So, this is Crossroads, the land of the dead. Can my darling Eurydice be found in this land of zombie-like creatures?
All right. Come on, loves. Come along. We've got just 10 minutes left before lunch, and that's just about time to rehearse the next 35 shows. Sandy, all right, loves, all right. Right, Eurydice, where have you been? We've been waiting for hours.
Oh, I'm sorry I got held up in embalming.
Hurry up.
Eurydice, my love.
What you want, mister? I got a tray of tea and biscuits to deliver here, you know. I can't stand around waiting and talking to you. I'm always delivering tea and biscuits in this
Eurydice,
place. I don't do anything else.
What have they done to you?
Oh, no, I've got to go on with my tea and biscuits.
Oh, Eurydice, can you ever forgive me for the wrongs I have done? I'll get you out of this land of the dead if it's the last thing I do.
And a day later, back in the land of the living...
Orpheus, I still don't know how you persuaded the director to release me.
I had to do him a little favour.
What sort of favour?
Well, I don't think we need to go into that. The main thing is that you are free, my love. To think that I was going to commit suicide, I'd even got the detonator. Well, that's all past now. Come, let's celebrate your release, my darling. Let's have an early night.
Ooh, very well, Orpheus.
Come into bed. Oh.
What perishing twit left a ruddy detonator under the bed, then?
I'm sorry, love, I forgot all about it.
We'll just have to go back to service.
Would you like to be explosive in bed? Would you really like to set women alight? Then apply now to the Burkiss Joan of Arc correspondence course. Care of Joe Kendall, Chris Evett, Nigel Reese and Fred Harris. You too could attract women like flies, providing you don't mind women like flies. All you have to do is send off for these and other old jokes to Andrew Marshall and David Renwick, or for additional jokes to John Lloyd and Douglas Adams. If you'd like to drop into our showrooms and browse around producer Simon Brett of Stepley, then feel free. Any more and it'll cost you. See you next week, folks, and happy dynamic loving!
That was Season 2, Episode 5 of the Burkiss Way, entitled, Lesson 11, The Journey to the Unknown, the Burkiss Way. Well, that is it for Saturday's edition of Airchecks. We will have the next episode of Airchecks podcast with more great radio shows on Sunday's edition. Airchecks is a 3-hour podcast uploaded every Saturday and Sunday. See you at the same time and the same channel.